That's good.
All right, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
We got everybody.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Effingham County Board of Commissioners regular meeting agenda, January 6, 2026. The time is now 5:02 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Floyd, Commissioner Burdette,
Here.
Chairman Ron,
Here.
Commissioner Deloach,
Here.
Commissioner Helmley, and Commissioner Kiefer.
Here.
You have a full board, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Steph, we have someone for our invocation.
Yes, sir, we do. Returning to us tonight is Pastor Nick Pumphrey. Pastor Nick is the pastor at Clio Methodist Church, and he is also the chaplain for the Sheriff's Office. Help me in welcoming again
Can I get an
Pastor Pumphrey.
I appreciate this opportunity to come and pray for y'all again. And when Stephanie asked me to do this, I was thinking about the significance of this being our first meeting of the year. And so I wanted to send us in, and specifically I wanted to send y'all into this year. And just with a reminder that Jesus would tell us that our life is really about everybody but us. And he starts by telling us about that we are to love the Lord our God with all our heart, all our soul, all our mind, and all our strength. And then he would go on to tell us that we are to love our neighbors as ourselves. So truly, our life should be about everybody else. And as leaders, that's what we're signing up to do. As servants, that's what we're signing up to do. So I'm thankful that y'all choose to serve. And I'm just going to read just a bit of scripture here from Mark. I'm going to preach for about 3.5 hours. It ain't going to be long. But Mark 10, chapter 10, starting at verse 42. So Jesus called them and said to them, you know that among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers, lord it over them, and the great ones are tyrants over them. But it is not so among you, but whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Again, it's this reminder that our life is about service. And so as folks that would serve our county, it is a privilege that y'all get to do that. It's a privilege that I get to serve this county. And I just honor that. And I wanted to send y'all into 2026 as dedicated servants to our county. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for your love and thank you for your life. Thank you for all that you've given us. Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity today to pray for our county, to pray for our commissioners, to pray for the leaders of this community. Lord, I pray that you would lift them up. Lord, I pray that you would stir in their hearts. Lord, I pray that you would just continue to lead them and guide them to be the men and women that you call them to be. Lord, I pray that as you have modeled this life of service, that they too would model this same life. That they would continue to bring us together as a community. The decisions made here and the business of this county would not only benefit this community in this county, but it would benefit you and your kingdom. So Lord, praying a specific blessing over our commissioners, praying a specific blessing over our county and all those that live here and all those that will visit. And Lord, we lift it all to you because it all belongs to you and it's all for you. So Lord, we thank you. Lord, we love you, and Lord, we trust you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Nick.
Thank you.
Please rise for the pledge.
Ms. Beth, you want to lead?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move into item number 5, election of vice chairperson. I believe we had Commissioner Deloach was our vice chair for 2025.
1 second, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Take one and pass it. Okay, Mr. Chair and board members, in accordance with Section 3.04, election of vice chairman of our rules of procedure. The order is at the first regular meeting in January each year in open session, the board shall elect from its members a vice chairperson. The chairperson will open the floor. The chairperson will open the floor for nominations of persons to serve as vice chairperson. After the chairperson closes the nominations, each commissioner will fill out a written ballot and sign it and return the ballot to the county clerk. The clerk shall immediately tally the ballots and orally announce each board member's vote and shall enter the written ballots into the board's official minutes. So, Mr. Chairman, if you would open the floor for nominations.
Short one ballot.
Your short one?
And so what is the next rotation? Would it would go to Commissioner Floyd? Or that's,
I was gonna defer, I was gonna
all
nominate.
right, you defer, and then it's Commissioner Helmy,
If you guys are
And then-
continuing that,
Commissioner Kiefer.
just make
I
a
don't think there's
nomination.
any really rotation. I was gonna nominate Commissioner Kiefer.
Okay.
I'll second. That's what you.
I mean, I've served before. I don't mind at all serving.
Okay.
I think I served in Jamie, and then if we were doing rotation, and you passed usually. So,
Very good.
if
Well,
we go in coordinates with tradition, it would be Phil.
very good. We'll go ahead and document. And we'll pass them over and tally them up.
And just for the record, so the nomination is for Commissioner Kiefer by Commissioner Floyd with a second by Commissioner Helmy.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
I'll put you down just because.
And the votes are as follows for our vice chair for 2026. Commissioner Floyd votes Commissioner Kiefer. Commissioner Kiefer votes for Commissioner Kiefer. Commissioner Helmley, Commissioner Kiefer. Commissioner Burdette for Commissioner Kiefer. Commissioner Deloach for Commissioner Kiefer. And Chairman Ron for Commissioner Kiefer. So your vice chair for 2026 is Commissioner Kiefer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Look
Philip,
forward to the chairman having perfect attendance this year.
funny you say that, Phil.
Vacation.
Last time somebody took some time off, I had a vote. Madam Clerk, would you mind explaining to the audience the role of the vice chair?
Yes, sir. So the role of the chair is to act in the absence of the chairman and to also execute documents in the absence of the chairman.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations, Phil. You have to learn how to use a pen again. Sign your name. All right, item 6, agenda approval. Consideration of a resolution to approve the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any changes?
Yes, sir, we do. Under new business number 3 is a deed. Consideration to approve a warranty deed for the dedication of roads, water, sewer, and drainage in New Haven Phase 2, located on Hodgeville Road. Staff has requested to postpone this item until the January 20th meeting,
Okay.
and that is your only change.
Very good. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the noted change.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Public comments. Public comment shall pertain to the agenda items only. Should you wish to make remarks, clearly state your full name into the microphone before commencing to speak. The agenda packet for this meeting is posted on the county's website. Any additional documentation presented at the meeting shall be submitted to the clerk for receipt, recording, and distribution to the board. Moving on to item 10, unfinished business.
The minutes.
I'm sorry?
The minutes.
I sure did skip
I'm
those,
not
didn't I?
gonna vote for that because I wasn't at the last meeting.
Back on up to item 7. Minutes. Consideration to approve the December 16th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. And Commissioner Floyd abstaining. Now moving into unfinished business. Item 1, consideration to approve an application by Anthony Parker as agent for MS2 Farms LLC for a site plan for Parkway Logistics Phase 1 located at Effingham Parkway map number 415, parcel number 30 in the 2nd District, postponed from our December 16, 2025 meeting.
Thank you. Kimberly Bartlett, Senior Planner. The Board of Commissioners approved the rezoning to B3 and LI on September 17, 2024. The total acreage is 259 acres, and the acreage to be divided is 122 acres. The proposed site plan pertains to the development of 3 warehouse buildings with a maximum building height of 50 feet. The building sizes include 325,500 square feet with 79 trailer spaces and 152 employee parking spaces, 279,000 square feet with 66 trailer spaces and 144 employee parking spaces, 306,000 square feet with 62 trailer spaces and 142 employee parking spaces. Utility services will be provided by Effingham County Water and Sewer. The buffers include to the north a 300-foot natural buffer, to the east a 300-foot natural buffer, and a 50-foot natural buffer to the commercial zoning side. The south will have a 300-foot natural buffer, and the west a 300-foot buffer which contains a 200-foot natural buffer and a 15-foot tall vegetated berm. A nationwide permit application has been submitted for proposed wetland impacts. A proposed full access driveway, including left and right turn lanes on both sides of Effingham Parkway, have been shown on the site plan. The proposed multi-use trail is depicted along the frontage. The applicant plans to subdivide the parcel prior to the beginning of construction. Site plan access is proposed from Effingham Parkway once completed. The conditions of the rezoning are listed. And staff has reviewed the application. It is complete with the following stipulations: that development services shall review and sign the plat, then the plat shall be recorded.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
As noted, this was approved September 17th in 2024. I saw a little bit of banter on this, and this is, well, quite a while back this was approved for rezoning. Any discussion, guys?
No, it's pretty straightforward, and they put the berms in it that we asked for at the time. This will kind of seal off that area. There'll be no other development for warehousing north of that.
Yes.
And just to clarify, empty warehouses still pay taxes, so we're happy
Very
with that.
good. Yeah, and this one will be no IDA form. This is private,
Nope.
so it'll be unabated. So-
Unabated,
Yes, sir.
go straight to the tax rolls.
Yeah, I do have one question. The status on Otis, is it Otis Seconder? I know that was there was some stipulations in that abandonment, maybe that was tied. I just want to make sure we're all clear there.
Yeah, and so this site plan will, when they did the abandonment, they agreed to do a cul-de-sac at the end, right, on their property, if I recall it correct. And so this site plan essentially is going to trigger that abandonment and closing and replacement with the cul-de-sac. So this site itself should not have any access to
Hodgeville.
Hodgeville Road via Otis Seconder.
Yeah, it's only Effingham Parkway.
Only Effingham Parkway. They may have an emergency, I'm not quite sure, but looking at, they may have an emergency exit, just so that they have two, that goes to Blue Jay, but that would be about it.
I know this was done before I got here, but I just hate to see more warehouses right now. I just hate to see more warehouses. I know it's part of the Parkway development, but I hate to see it. I'm concerned about the wetlands. There's a lot of studies to be done after the fact. Might need to review that, but I hate to see more warehouses. So.
This is, this parcel it butts up to the IDA property, correct? That's there?
Correct.
Okay, so that whole, acreage there, Miss Beth,
I understand all
no,
that.
no, I'm clarifying for the audience as well. That this area here is, owned by the IDA, and I believe some of the school board has a piece of it here as well. Is that correct? In that
Correct, but I don't
corridor?
think they don't quite touch it. There's this buffer in between the two properties,
Right.
from what I recall. But you're right. That's where the maintenance building that y'all approved recently is slated to go.
Correct, okay. Very good. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the site plan?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye, me.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving into new business. Item 1, consideration to approve a proposal from Thomas and Hutton for construction engineering inspection support.
Sorry, Lauren Schumann, project coordinator, standing in for Jonathan, who's a little under the weather.
So you don't look like Jonathan.
This item is for approval of additional construction engineering inspection services currently provided under the county's master services agreement with Thomas and Hutton. They'll be provided on a time and materials not to exceed basis. The county currently has several roadway projects either underway or about to begin, and so this expands their scope to cover some additional projects. And CEI services, they basically serve as the county's on-site construction representative. Staff recommends alternative 1.
Very good, thank you. And Tim, if I recall correctly, we are bringing in another engineer ultimately to help.
For transportation.
Right.
Technically, they could take over some of these responsibilities as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always good to have third party versus having in-house inspections.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion from the board? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve alternative 1?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item number 2, consideration to approve a final plat, warranty deed, and infrastructure agreement for Brunson Station Phase 1A, located on Nollesy Conaway Road, as submitted by Stanley Martin Homes, Roger Hunt, map number 418, parcel number 2E in the 2nd District.
Chairman, I'm going to step down for this one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Stanley Martin Homes, Roger Hunt requests approval of final plat, warranty deed, and infrastructure agreement for Brunson Station Phase 1A, map 418, parcel 2E. Staff has reviewed the plat and inspected roads, pump station, water, sewer, reuse, utilities, and easements identified in the warranty deed and recommends approval. October 21st, Board of Commissioner meeting, final plat Phase 1 was approved. Stanley Martin Homes and EMC engineering contractors have built roads and drainage infrastructure for Phase 1A of Brunson Station to sell 54 lots in this PD subdivision. Effingham County will provide water and sewer services. The county engineer has inspected all roads, rights-of-ways, and drainage infrastructure that are being dedicated to the county and recommend approval.
Thank you, Pam.
Who are you?
Pamela Melser, Director of Development Services.
Thank you, Pamela. All right. Roger, you have any just concerns
No,
with
it's
this?
pretty straightforward and mirrors what we approved originally, so
Okay, any other commissioners? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve alternative 1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 4, preliminary plat. Consideration to approve an application by Neil McKenzie as agent for Clayton Properties Group Incorporated for a preliminary plat for Lonadine Phase 5 located on Georgia Highway 119 South, map number 344, parcel number 26A in the 3rd District.
Thank you. Kimberly Bartlett, Senior Planner. At the March 16, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting, the board approved the rezoning from AR1 to R6. The master plan for 283 lots was approved at the June 15, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting with the following conditions as listed. The proposed Phase 5 contains 28 lots and a total area of 128.75 acres with 11.45 acres to be divided. The minimum lot size is 6,600 square feet. Setbacks include front 15, rear 25, and side 7.5 feet. City of Springfield water and sewer systems will serve the lots. A 20-foot drainage easement has been added. There shall be access granted for official and emergency vehicles. Common areas, detention pond, and sidewalks shall be privately maintained by the homeowners association. Staff has reviewed the application and it is complete with the following conditions: that site development plans must adhere to Effingham County Code of Ordinances, Section 3.4 buffers.
Thank you, ma'am. Tim, when, do we have any dates for Springfield? When they'll come out of their moratorium for water?
Last I heard, 18 months. That was about a month ago.
Very good. All right, Commissioner Deloach, anything?
It looks straightforward to me. Excuse me. Looks straightforward to me on what was previously approved, so I don't have any issues or concerns. With that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary plat.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 5, consideration to approve an application by Neil McKenzie as agent for Clayton Properties Group Incorporated for a preliminary plat for Lonadine Phase 6 and 7, located on Georgia Highway 119 South, map number 344, parcel number 26A in the 3rd District.
Thank you. Kimberly Bartlett, Senior Planner. At the March 16, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting, the rezoning was approved from AR1 to R6. The master plan for 283 lots was approved at the June 15, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting with the following conditions as listed. The proposed phases are 6 and 7, which contain 105 lots and a total area of 128.75 acres. The minimum lot size is 6,600 square feet. Setbacks include front 15 feet, rear 25, side 7.5 feet. City of Springfield water and sewer will serve the lots. A 20-foot drainage easement has been added. They shall have access for official and emergency vehicles. Common areas, detention pond, and sidewalks shall be privately maintained by the homeowners association. Staff has reviewed the application and is complete with the following conditions: that site development plans must adhere to Effingham County Code of Ordinances, Section 3.4 buffers.
Thank you, ma'am. Entertain a motion.
As stated previously, this looks straightforward to me. It's going along with what was originally approved on the rezoning. So with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve this preliminary plat.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 6, consideration to approve an application by Maupin in Engineering as agent for Savannah Parkway Properties, LLC, for a site plan for Kicklighter Commercial located on Old Augusta Road South, map number 466C, parcel number 1C04 in the 5th District.
Thank you. Kimberly Bartlett, Senior Planner. At the December 12, 2017 Board of Commissioners meeting, the rezoning for this parcel was approved from B3 to I1 with the following conditions as listed. The site plan proposes a 13,800 square foot warehouse space with an office and a total of 5 units. The parcel is 5.93 acres. The maximum building height is approximately 30 feet. Traffic analysis has been provided by the applicant. A 15-foot platted area fronting Old Augusta Road South has been depicted on the site plan. The site is served by county water and sewer. The total parking spaces proposed are 32 spaces and 2 ADA spaces with the anticipation of 10 employees. This property is in Zone A flood hazard area. A wetlands delineation has been provided and a letter from the Army Corps of Engineers. Access to the property will be from Old Augusta Road South, 2 access points consisting of right in and right out. Staff has reviewed the application, and the application is complete with the following conditions. An encroachment permit must be reviewed and approved by the county engineer.
Thank you, ma'am. Where's this property located on Old Augusta?
It's kind of right across.
It's actually on 21, isn't it?
Yeah, shortly after you turn on Old Augusta on the left.
Okay, so it's,
Or is it on Old Augusta?
Not far from being across from
is that
Leo
where the
Sanctuary.
empty lot is on the left-hand side?
No, it's a little south, a little closer to 21 on that.
Okay, gotcha.
They just started clearing it
Oh,
recently.
okay,
so-
I know what you're talking about. It's kind of an odd-shaped
Yeah.
property, isn't it? Yeah,
I know they've put in the building pad.
gotcha.
And I personally am glad to see this, just on the county commissioner side and the banking side. I talk with customers and constituents, small business folks who just, they don't need 100,000 square feet for small business. They just need 5 or 10,000 square feet, and I think it's definitely a need there
Sure.
for that.
Good. Any further discussion?
Pretty well all cleared, so all the gonna have to add any
Mhm.
vegetation will be after.
Is this
After
it
the
right here,
fact.
Jamie? Over here in this area right there?
But no, I mean, it's consistent, with everything. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7, consideration to approve a proposal with AccuSource HR for comprehensive pre-employment background checks and to implement its remote proctored 10-panel oral fluid drug testing for pre-employment, post-incident, and random drug screening.
I know, it's a mouthful.
I know.
Sarah Mousoff, Director of Human Resource Services. So we come before you guys tonight to ask for permission to try and switch our vendors that we're using for the drug screen and background checks. So currently, we're running into an issue with labs not being in network for the provider. And so it's getting to be a hassle for our future employees and even like some of the randoms. So like the hospital, they're not in network and we can't figure it out. Then Savannah, and then I've got people who don't want to drive an hour to do a pre-employment screen. I understand that, we have a lot of our first responders that are part-time or work in other municipalities, and so it's hard for them to take off, drive, get a test, all done before they can even start working for us. And then also with our minors, so anyone under 18 has to have their parent with them. So then I run into the issue when I'm sending them to Effingham Health, their lab closes early. Well, then I've got angry parents who are saying, well, why do I have to take PTO to take my kid to get a drug screen? So it's kind of this whole process. We found this vendor. I guess this is kind of the way drug testing is going. It's proctored by a live video feed, right? So you're on the screen, you do the oral swab, and you get instant results. This will also help us because it's a part of our pre-employment and a condition in the offer letter that everybody signs. Well, for instance, I had someone recently who started, and then 2 weeks in, we found out that they were positive. So then, we had to unfortunately let them go. So we hope to eliminate that awkwardness, right? At least we'll know instantly. And so I'm just here to answer some questions if you have any. But if we get your permission tonight, we're going to try and move forward and implement this.
I know this is probably a dumb question, but they can do a drug screening now with a swab test?
Yes, sir.
Thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they send it straight to your house. So again, people aren't driving anywhere. For these people that are working other jobs, it's very easy. It's convenient for them. A lot of times, like, let's just use EMS. Miss Wanda will get somebody and, she needs people. Well, we get stuck in red tape sometimes, and it'll take a month before we can get them when she really needs to fill shifts. So this, I'm hoping, kind of helps fill some voids right now for us.
What is our time frame for, because oral, I know it doesn't go back as far as a urinalysis would go. So do we have
I would have to see. I know that right now the urine goes back to 90 days. And I would think they have to be at least that, if not more, because again, this is kind of what everybody in the industry is moving to. This is the new standard, just because in a post-COVID world, right, everybody's trying to be more convenient, do things a little quicker, more streamlined. Because when we go to a real lab, you know, urinalysis, sometimes that takes a few days because it could be a staffing issue, or, you know, they didn't get their samples picked up and tested in time, so.
Gotcha.
And I'm, just to clarify, and I know you said it with the proctoring,
Yes.
but then I said sent to your house. So,
How do you get the brother not to take the swab?
well, that's what that's what I'm
I
saying.
think they probably have to unseal
I
it on
can,
video.
I can
To
see
do it
it
on
coming
video.
up here.
They do it
Yeah,
on
it's
video.
just like when our, so building inspections, they do a lot of their certifications through a proctor. It's an online, right? But they have to show the whole entire room before they can even start. So I'm imagining it would be the same thing. You have to verify that you're there, or just with your parent.
How do you
Then, like you said,
verify
open
the
it.
person's the person?
I think they have to go through all the ID check and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah, and so, and again, they're having that liability on them that they're verifying everything for us as well.
right.
Yeah, well,
A video urinalysis would be awkward.
Well, yeah, yes.
no, I'm not asking. I'm basically saying, you know, to
Well,
get
I'm glad they said oral, because I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, it's going to be a little weird, because
Yeah.
somebody's going to have a lot of sinks running the whole time.
I guess I'm, you know, how can you make sure it's the same thing and somebody's not, I mean,
I'm
sure they
assuming
gonna
you'd have to
create-
provide a picture ID, and they would compare the
No,
two.
but I'm worried about the actual swab.
Well, my guess is, and we can actually get the details of it, but my guess is, you know, that they've got kind of a non-tamper, so you can't mess with it before. You have to break the seal in
front of
in the
them.
beginning. You have to show whatever the barcode is on it, and then you have to seal it in a non-tamper seal afterwards. And we can get you the details on that, but that would be my
Yes.
guess.
And it could be in the, 30-something pages of information they provided us in the proposal, but I will find that and I can,
Yeah.
get
I
you
mean,
the direct.
I could see doing it like if they come up here real quick, same day, just come up here and have one of our people, watch them do it. I guess it's the house thing that.
But if the insurance
That
company
concerns
accepts our
me. I
insurance
know.
carrier,
Oh, I'm
I'm
not
sure it's
worried
been
as-
vetted.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in business
Until
25 plus
somebody
years,
says-
so.
And it didn't work, I guess, is what I would be concerned about. But anyway,
Is that something, do we keep the kits here, or is that something that they send out?
They said they were gonna send us some, yes,
Okay.
but they're trying to direct mail,
Figure for
but we.
post-incident type things, I
Mhm.
mean, that would be.
Yep. And each one does have two, just in case there is a immediate positive, right? They can send off the second to verify. Because right now, when you do a urinalysis, if they split the sample, and so if you test positive, they offer the person, hey, would you like me to test again your other sample to confirm? And so the person has that right. Even though,
And Beth, I mean,
99% of the time it's a second positive, but just as a precautionary.
I guess if we had concerns, I mean, we could always set the policies so it had to be done here and not at home, right? If that was the case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it could
still
be.
be just as convenient
Yeah,
as they already
because then
here.
we just have everything mailed to us instead of, their
Right,
home address. It
and
could
they-
come to us as a
I
physical.
mean, if they're wanting to come to work here, they'll show up here, right? So-
Yeah.
there's a part of me that likes that better. And like you said, that can be the same day. If you want to come up here, you
Yeah,
can
could do-
designate whoever
conjun-
would monitor that whole
Conjunction with the
business.
job
That
offering.
sorta opens up
Yeah.
the door for.
If
I don't
our
know.
employees don't mind swabbing people or, handling
Well,
that.
I don't think they're gonna do it. They're
Yeah,
just,
they would
they'll
just-
watch him.
They would just
Yeah.
proctor,
They
that's
would
it.
watch them.
Is that a strain on staff? I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't know how often that.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
often
wouldn't
it
think
would,
it's any harder than
We
scheduling
just have to
somebody
get
to go.
like a computer station here that,
Yeah.
which we may be able to get,
a kiosk or something, yeah.
squeeze into the HR. So they come in, they're they're witnessed or whatever. We can look into doing that. And we
So
could
for
take-
instance, like Monday, we're gonna have the new fire recruit school beginning, and there's 12 of them. And that's just fire's new hires. That's not the random, over the weekend EMS or the sheriff hired somebody, right? And they surprise us on Monday morning. So, those people could already be tested before they even walk in the door. So right now, fire, the two people that do training for them are gonna have to take all those people to the hospital and kind of wait for the process, so it could take a few hours to
But
get everybody
Sarah,
done.
would they would not be taking advantage of this, right? If we were to approve this tonight, they would be doing it the old way, right?
They are,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
So what I'm wondering is if we can get these questions answered,
Yeah.
is there an issue with delaying this?
No, I was just gonna
to the
ask,
next
would you
meeting?
like me to move it to the next one so that I can reach out to the vendor and get those follow-up questions? I'm good with that. I don't know how it works, Miss Stephanie.
You may get the answers you want.
Well, I
to be
guess,
totally-
do we have a policy on how long you're supposed to be clean now? Because if it's a shorter time frame with oral, then.
Well, we don't necessarily have a set,
It's
you
gotta
know,
be
we're just a
similar, 'cause they do
drug-free
DOT.
employment place
What is
because,
DOT? I mean,
DOT is what you use for truck drivers
90
and
days?
federal motor carrier. It's not a set time, because it depends on the drug. Like
it
if
does, how long it's in
the
there.
THC's in your system for 30 days, cocaine's in your system for 2 weeks.
I
It's
didn't know
not
how
a
far
question.
back they tested though. That was the thing, like, is there a set timeline that they test back to? in a
But each
particular
drug is the
test?
different,
Yeah,
that's
the
what he's
drugs are
saying,
different.
each
It's
drug
not
is
the,
different.
not the, you can't like target a period and
Gotcha.
if it's either in your system or not.
I think it's a good idea. I just.
Oh, yeah,
that-
absolutely.
That house business.
Sure.
Just,
Yeah, and I don't mind, I'll ask,
You can
let me
do 'em
reach
up
out,
here.
and then
Yeah.
we'll come back next. I mean, I've got other staff reports, so I'll be here, don't worry.
My biggest question would be the accuracy versus normal urinalysis. What's the percentages of false positive, false negatives
I think
in
it's
comparison?
actually a little better than
it better?
urinalysis, yes, but I'll get those numbers and we can highlight that for the next meeting and
Okay.
kind of talk through that.
Great.
My biggest
Yeah.
concern, because
We're
otherwise,
looking at,
everything's, I'm scrolling through everything here, and they offer a lot of great services.
Yeah, let's make a motion to table until the 20th meeting.
I'll make a motion to table item number 7 to our next commissioner meeting to give time to
Yep.
give some additional details.
Okay.
January 20th.
January 20th. Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Unopposed, motion carries. Item 8, consideration to approve resolution 026-001 to amend the 2026 fiscal year budget.
Good afternoon, Mark Barnes, Finance Director. This is a pretty small amendment. This allocates the donations that Say-One gave to our first responder services here recently. And then additionally, there's a small adjustment for the tax assessor's uniform budget. Staff recommends alternative number 1 to approve the budget amendment.
Very good. And just for a refresher, what was that amount for the Say One?
There was $5,000 for each of the agencies. It was EMS, EMA, and Fire and Rescue, $5,000 apiece.
Okay, so
And I
15.
reached out to their directors and department heads to figure out how they wanted to allocate that this year.
Very good. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? None opposed, motion carries.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead and move into administrative reports. Madam Clerk, you have anything?
Oh, the catalyst briefing that the chamber is hosting. Sent you guys an email about that earlier. Just need to know if you want to attend. If you do, we need to register.
What was that? I'm sorry. I'm writing some
A
stuff down.
catalyst briefing is
Oh.
on economic development.
Okay.
It's
What
gonna
time?
be at the Herald
All right.
building.
In-person thing.
Yes,
What
I've-
time? What time
I've
is that?
responded.
yes. Commissioner Helmley and Commissioner Deloach have already responded. Mr. Chairman, I think you will be at CRC.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Anybody else?
This was
I'll
next
let you know.
Thursday.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
next
gonna get in
Thursday,
my-
yeah.
I think I sent you an email.
I'll let you know
Maybe
tonight.
it was Mer- I don't
You'll
know.
let me know tomorrow?
Tonight.
Tonight, okay, all right.
I haven't
very
made it
good.
through my afternoon emails.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, that was State of the County Economy briefing. Got it.
Yes,
Very good.
that's the only thing I had.
Okay, great, thank you. Tim?
Yes, so a couple things. First, on Saturday, just a reminder, we have the long-awaited grand opening of Baker Park, or Baker Pond Park. It is, I was over there last week, and it's amazing. We anticipate that we're going to have a pretty big crowd there because it is going to be on a Saturday. It starts at 1. We're going to start probably setting up about 11. We might start letting folks in about noon. And so if y'all are going to make it, just let Marie know, and we will. We will have some remarks. We're working with the chamber to get their ribbon and giant scissors. But it should be a great day. Secondly, in preparation of the Effingham Day at the Capitol, which is Sunday the 1st, Monday the 2nd, and Tuesday the 3rd, they have Tuesday the 3rd as an open day. And so if there are anything that you want scheduled while we're down there, on any of the days, actually, please let me know, and I'll try and I'll try and work out some time. Any particular departments or individuals that y'all want to speak to. I will try and work with Miss Ann to see if we can work out some time with the Department of Transportation Director, Russell McMurray. So, but we usually do that right after we have the general meeting with GDOT. So we'll see if we have any luck. But just let me know if there's anything particular that you want to meet with down there, and I'll see if I can get something scheduled. That's all I got. I do have a need for an executive session, but really brief, just on property issues.
Okay, very good. Anyone else?
I just want to make a quick comment. Ryan Thompson, has let his term expire on the planning board. I just want to publicly say how much I appreciate him serving. He was a tremendous asset for us, and I am looking for somebody for that position for District 1. So if anybody's got some leads, I'd sure like to talk to him.
I'll second that on Ryan. He's phenomenal. I leaned on him a lot.
He said, he still said he'll take my calls.
I plan on being there on Saturday at 1, and I'll get with Jake. I'll make a few remarks.
Okay.
On that. Also on the, I forgot what the title is, but the new road engineer. I know we approved that position.
Yes.
Have we posted that yet, or that's coming?
We have. We haven't had much luck with it yet. We're kind of boosting it as of, I believe, yesterday, to see if we've contacted individuals directly on that to scope if they've had some interest. It just is it's a very competitive market for engineers. Took us a while to get Trey and Jonathan, so hopefully we'll have some luck here.
Tim, I was going to ask you also, do you have an update on Gateway Parkway?
The opening?
An update on it?
Oh, update, Gateway Parkway, yes. So I think we now can do the notice to proceed because we've gotten the deed and everything signed with regards to the property, which is great news. That does put us a little bit behind. I know we were going to try and get this done before school opening. It'll probably be a few weeks after school opening, but we've discussed that with the superintendent, and being that Effingham Parkway will be open, at least that section, it'll be an easy bypass to go around to Goshen or Blue Jay to get to Blandford. So
you have a new ETA for Gateway, you think?
Jonathan is working on the on the notice to proceed, so we're gonna have to readjust the dates on it, and I'll get you the new date.
Awesome. Thank you.
Because it's based on the signature of the notice to proceed, which we've had to hold off on.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. 9th Street and Stillwell-Clio Road.
Yes.
Any timelines on those at all?
Stillwell will be in the spring.
Yeah, I'm going to have, Jonathan's out sick. I'm going to have to get that on, that's the GDOT project that you're referring to, right? What are we talking about? Just the resurfacing or the?
Yeah, 9th Street was the partnership with Rincon, City of Rincon that we were doing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Clio.
Well, he said Stillwell.
Yeah, I gave you two, so you're half right.
Okay,
He
so
did, yeah.
So we are talking about, okay, 9th Street. Are we talking about the EMS station, or are we talking about the?
We're talking about the road.
The east-west corridor.
I thought we were actually
You can
resurfacing the
include
road.
EMS.
Oh, yeah. That's been awarded. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's been awarded, but they have, it's one of those things that's going to carry into spring, because they're going to try and get out there when they can in between warm weather pockets in the winter. But it is a contract that's been awarded, so it'll take it essentially from the railroad tracks, our section of it, all the way down to 21.
Okay. You said
Clio
still-
Stillwell, we've recently approved that package. Wasn't that C.W. Matthews?
Correct, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I
and
didn't
that's
know
the same
that.
thing too. We've got
I had
3
a pleasure
contracts
riding
out there
down
right
both
now.
of them, and
Yeah.
Stillwell Clio was pretty rough. So.
I got chewed out, a couple farmers had their.
There's going to be a lot of asphalt going down this between now and the end of May.
Yeah, 9th
so-
Street's so heavily traveled now. I mean, are they bringing that road up to a different standard than what
Which
it was
one?
before? 9th.
Rinkin came up with the specs on it, so I'm going to have to find out from Jonathan what they requested. I hope they have.
I hope they have too, because that
Yeah.
road is busy.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of truck traffic on it too. Okay.
I have a couple of little things. I was going to ask you about the EMS station.
Yeah, so we had our pre-bid meeting. That is part of a package now that's going out that includes the Marlow demolition and fire station. It includes some work on the 119 complex with regards to the bathrooms.
Animal shelter or not? Quite.
It does not include the animal shelter, that's a separate one, and it includes the Rinkin EMS station as well. Am I missing anything on that?
There's some repair work at Clio.
Oh, yeah, and then Clio's got some foundation work at the fire station. So we had a kind of standing room only matter of fact, we had 3 pre-bids so far this week, and they've all been very crowded. So that should go out to award, when do you think? The multiple buildings? And end of February, approval in March.
Okay. And another thing, I'm helping serve on a board. It's a group called Healthy City 360, Rankin. It just taken off, but their first event is Saturday. I know we have the event at Baker Pond, but if you come by before, it's going to be at Empire Gym. I think they have 60 vendors, and I'm going to have all that group come in and just kind of tell what their plans are. But it's just to promote just a healthy lifestyle in the county. So I don't know what time it kicks off, but it should be pretty early.
Can you send us that when you get it?
I will. And again, that's at Empire Gym, and it's open to everybody. I mean, it's really hoping it's a good event.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I got where are we, since we were talking about the transportation engineer, where are we with getting Miss Marie her help?
We have,
She sends me all these sobs and tears about all this work
Oh,
she's
no.
doing all the time. And I know it's not true, but I mean, I figured I'd mention it, you know. so.
There's one person that's holding up the works there, and it's and it ain't me. So she's narrowed down the list, and so I
So it's
believe.
on her.
Yeah, so well, that's what I was implying. I didn't directly say it. So, but they've narrowed down the list. We've got some good candidates, and so when did the interview start?
We're probably going to start interviews within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Next week or two.
I do wish everybody, hope everybody had a good holiday and Happy New Year. Maybe that transportation update, since we were talking, maybe a little of that information while we're in Atlanta. You know, we may not necessarily have to meet, but just
Okay.
have it where we are. And just, I'm getting a lot of complaints still from Low Ground Road. I know we're meeting about
Yes.
that tomorrow sometime. But I just want the people out there to know, you know, we hadn't forgot about them.
Yeah.
So, it is a mess. And we're getting ready to fix it big time, but it takes time, so.
And we're
but we
making a
hadn't
lot of
forgot about 'em.
progress on, because there's concern about how much right-of-way that we need.
Right.
It's a kind of a double-sided coin there. And so on Goshen, we've kind of solved that, and we think we're pretty close to solving it on, to make the right-of-way ask a little bit less demanding.
Yes.
And so we're coming up with the kind of redesigned plans on that, and so we're hoping to move fairly quickly on it.
Okay. I would like to, while we're in Atlanta, if possible, get some time with EPD in light of all the things that have been coming out with our DRT and whatnot. And it's is Clint or Miss App, are they attending by chance?
You did last year. Yeah.
I'd like, at the minimum, Miss App to be available if we do get some time to at least
Okay.
conference in.
Sure.
Do
If he's
that.
not there, I'll make sure he's available to conference in.
Okay. And then, Phil, I looked on Empire's Facebook page. I don't see that, but I see they have a bodybuilding competition April 11th, so you
not
can
interested there.
be ready for there. So.
A rotator.
Very good.
But it's Healthy City 360 ranking, and
Got
it's
it.
on social media.
Perfect. Okay. Anyone else? If not, we'll adjourn for a brief break before our planning meeting here at 6 p.m. Going to call us back to order for our planning board. Just to follow up, I looked up that 360 event is going to be January 10th, starting at 8 a.m. at Empire Gym.
Okay, I wasn't sure that.
They'll be doing BMI screenings, all kinds of different
There's a
things.
lot
So,
of things.
yeah. All right.
Blood donations. That's a
Yes,
big
sir.
one right now.
Okay, moving into item 1 in planning board. It's a public hearing. Consideration to approve an application by Kathleen Kirkland for a conditional use to allow for an agritourism business in AR1 located at 5560 Old Dixie Highway South, map number 263, parcel number 32A in the 3rd District.
Thank you. Kimberly Barlett, Senior Planner. Okay, I'm sorry. The parcel totals 15.66 acres located at the intersection of Old Dixie Highway South and Ingram Road. Currently, there is a single-family home on the property. The applicant has requested a conditional use for agritourism to operate a farm stand and U-pick events for flowers grown on the property. Per the application, visitors will be able to explore flower fields and select their own stems. Staff met with the applicant for a technical review committee meeting on November 17, 2025. At the meeting, we discussed the agritourism ordinance requirements, the conditional use process, ingress and egress, and parking requirements per the Effingham County Code of Ordinances. This parcel falls within the agriculture area of the future land use map. Staff has reviewed the application, and the application is complete with the following stipulations: that the applicant shall obtain and keep in good standing an Effingham County occupational tax certificate.
Very good, thank you. All righty. If Ms. Kirkland is here and has anything she'd like to add, please come forward. Sure you do.
I don't really have anything to add. The plan right now is to have U-Picks twice a month ticketed, where people could purchase a ticket before they get there and then pick flowers in our field. And then we'll also have a farm stand throughout hopefully, if all my bulbs come up that I've planted, in hopes that everything works out, that we would have a farm stand at the end of the driveway March to April through September, maybe October.
Very good, thank you. Any questions, guys?
Anybody in opposition?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
If anyone here is in opposition, please come forward. Being I see none, I'll close the public hearing, open up for comments.
Yes, I'm very familiar with this area. It's not far from my house, and there's a lot of fields that have row crops in them. This seems to be right in line with the area. I think it's definitely fine. I think it'll be good for the community. I think it'll be interesting. Be curious to see how it works out. Hope it does. I have no concerns with it. Like I said, it seems to be in line with the area. I actually had one of the, I don't know, neighbors, but someone in the area emailed me in support of this, and so they thought it was great, and they were in support. So with all that being said, I will make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 2, second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Kathleen Kirkland for conditional use to allow for an agritourism business in AR1 located at 5560 Old Dixie Highway South, map number 263, parcel number 32A in the 3rd District.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Grow them bulbs. Moving into item 3, public hearing. The Planning Board recommends approving an application by Neil McKenzie as agent for Baca Properties LLC to rezone plus or minus 21.73 acres from AR1 to B3 and HI to allow for permitted uses in B3 and HI located at 2388 US Highway 80, map number 354, parcel number 28 and 29 in the 1st District.
Good evening, Jennifer Rose, Planner 1. The applicant is proposing to rezone 21.73 acres to B3 Major Commercial District and HI Heavy Industrial to allow for a ready mix concrete batch in a heavy industrial zoning and retail office space along Highway 80. These lots will be served by Effingham County Water and Sewer. Staff met with the applicant and discussed access, buffer requirements, plating requirements, and zoning requirements. The parcel falls within the transitional area of the future land use map. This area allows for mixed use and adaptive use opportunities designed to be allowed for transitional uses. At the 2025 Planning Board meeting, the board recommended approval and the motion carried unanimously. Staff has completed its review of the application and finds it to be complete, subject to the following conditions, including conditions which were voluntarily proposed by the applicant. There are quite a few on this one, so just bear with me. A site plan must be approved by the Board of Commissioners. Development Services must review and sign the plat, and the plat must be recorded so the zoning can take effect. The applicant must obtain and keep in good standing an Effingham County occupational tax certificate. The concrete plant batching operations shall be limited to the hours of 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturdays as needed. If batching operations are required outside of these hours, adjacent property owners will be notified. The commercial development shall comply with the architectural design standards set forth in a Corridor Overlay District Section 8. The site plan shall include an internal berm separating the B3 zoning district from the HI Heavy Industrial zoning district. The berm shall be a minimum of 20 feet in height and shall be vegetated in accordance with Appendix C, Article 3, Section 3.4. The plant vibrator shall be fitted with a noise suppression device. The device shall be installed and tested prior to the commencement of the plant operations. An approved dust control plan must be in place prior to the concrete plant operation. The dust control plan will include an improved dust control system installed at the plant and inspected by EPD prior to the plant operations. The concrete plant traffic areas and travel lanes will be paved, and development entrances will be subject to traffic study and GDOT permitting. Those are all the conditions associated with this request.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. McKenzie, you're here representing.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Name's Neil McKenzie, here tonight on behalf of Mr. Miguel Baca, who is here with me tonight. This application is to rezone a piece of property. It's actually two, which will need to be recombined. We're requesting to zone the front portion B3, and the rear zone would actually be light industrial. So the application did say heavy, but we are specifically going for the use for the concrete plant. So that use is allowed by the light industrial, so we're not actually asking for the heavy. That opens up a lot of uses that we just don't want to do on the property. So this is a light industrial use. We're after the concrete plant in the rear. As far as the project goes, Mr. Baca is a local family-owned operation. He intends to put his base of operations here at this property. In the front, there's going to be commercial and retail, and actually his base of operations, his office, will be in that front portion. In the rear, there will be a plan to be a concrete plant. Mr. Baca has owned the business here and has provided concrete to the industry here for a long time. He's well known and well respected, and has a lot of confidence in our community. But like I said, the project will be a split zone, B3 in the front, the light industrial in the back. And as far as the spot goes, in the county, there is industrial in the area. So if you're familiar, the old Falkville chip mill is to the east. Yancey's also there, and then across the street to the north and west is also industrial. George's Road is to the to the north and east, that's residential. As Ms. Rose pointed out, this site plan and this application is it's in line with the county's comprehensive plan. And just a little bit about the business. So the commercial piece up front, right now, we think we'll have about 10 full-time employees with staff as needed, just based on who is going to run a business up there. And then in the back, the concrete plant will have 3 to 4 full-time employees. Hours of operation for the commercial up front would be your typical, 8 to 5 weekdays, weekends as needed. And then the concrete plant would be 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and then the weekend operations as needed. No operations on Sunday. And then any operations that were outside of those hours, Mr. Baca did commit to at least notifying all the residents in the area. For the buffering, there are perimeter buffers that are required by the ordinance. We're able to meet those. For the areas of the plan, so if you're familiar with the site, in the back of the property where we have the concrete plant use, there's a 150-foot buffer to AR. A lot of that is cleared. So Mr. Baca will have to replant that area to bring that buffer up to standard. As far as between the commercial and the concrete plant, we're proposing another buffer, 20 foot in height. This would be a combination buffer, so we do, because of the space that we have, the combination would be a concrete wall up to a certain height, and then earth backfilled on top of that
But
with
a berm,
planting.
20-foot berm.
That's right.
Okay.
Total height, and then plantings on top of that.
Okay.
And this is to do two things: block the view from Highway 80 and also kind of mitigate the noise from the concrete plant. Access would be off of Highway 80. We'll be subject to all the permitting with GDOT. Based on the trips per day, we do think at least a right turn lane will be needed, subject to a left turn lane if needed. But we do think that a right turn lane, because of the trucks, would be needed at a minimum. The utilities will be on-site well and septic, permitted through the county. And then as far as just stormwater management and pollution control, these will all be designed and permitted in accordance with state law. As you are probably aware, there's a lot of state laws that mandate and basically guide the operation of these concrete plants. Mr. Baca will have a state license to operate this plant, and everything that's required by the state will absolutely be part of this plan. He'll have a dust control plan, stormwater pollution prevention plan on site, and everything will be maintained to keep everything up and running and like it's supposed to. As far as the permits that are needed, we still will have to get a plan completed, and we'll have to meet all the state stormwater requirements, NPDES requirements for industrial use, Georgia air quality, Georgia operating, GDOT, land disturbance from the county, and DPH for the well and septic. We wholeheartedly agree with staff's conditions. We accept all of them with no alibis, and just looking forward to a great project out here on Highway 80. So just a little bit of background about what we did with the planning board. So the original meeting was in November. Heard some of the feedback from the neighbors. Tabled that item, at that time, and then came back with specific conditions that we thought would help address the feedback from the neighbors. So a lot of the conditions that you heard read out were in direct response to some of the feedback we heard from these residents. and most of it was dust control and the noise. And I feel like the berm and the buffering between the commercial and the concrete plant will really mitigate a lot of the noise. And then as far as dust control, we have some state-of-the-art equipment that's going to be fit to the plant to reduce the dust. So finally, with those things in place, glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a
Yeah, I was
disagreement
gonna
here.
mention, I believe there's some site plans or something that were,
No, we're a little concerned about the understanding of the table of permitted uses, that a concrete plant is allowed in light industrial. We know a concrete plant's allowed in light industrial if it's developing concrete for the site that it's on. But if it's a permanent structure to provide concrete for outside of that, the table of permitted use has it as a heavy industrial use.
That's my misunderstanding.
And I mean, the
it came up last
rezoning was
meeting.
requested for heavy industrial.
Right,
So
it
you're
was.
not,
technically right, you were just
yeah.
wrong on what you just talked about.
Yeah, so it came up in the last meeting, and I was like, well, we're after the concrete plant batching use specifically. So whichever classification that meets, then that's what we're after.
Yeah,
And I think it does matter because it you know, if at a latter point something wanted to change here and it would use different buffers, the heavy industrial will keep those larger buffers in place.
Right, I mean, this is conditional use anyway, correct? Specific to this, or is this in the permitted?
You know, it's
Okay.
just a flat out rezoning.
Okay,
to
just straight
permitted use
rezoning
in
then,
heavy
okay,
industrial.
got it.
I have a question, because unless I just misheard you,
We are in a public hearing, right? He didn't open it. No, you're fine. I don't remember you saying it's a public hearing.
Yes, I did, initially when I first opened
Did you?
it,
Okay.
yeah.
Just technicality.
on the batching hours.
Yes, ma'am.
It says on number 4, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday, Friday, 6 a.m. to 12 on Saturday. I believe I heard you say something different.
So, yes, ma'am.
So I need to know which one.
Let me clarify, because I've got it written down here. So the concrete plant batching operations will be Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Saturday, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., no Sunday operations. If there's any batching operations outside of those hours, Mr. Baca has committed to notifying. And if I misread that, that's
Okay. I think it was the difference on the Monday through Friday hours, because hours have 5 to 5. And you're saying it's 6 a.m. to 5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just to clarify that, on the outside of the hours, it's not saying he can't do it, there just has to be notification.
That's right, because sometimes he has contracts that requires, times out of those hours. And not all the time, but it does happen.
Okay. And based on what you just said then, there has to be a 300-foot buffer now around that concrete plant, right?
Well, but they mitigate, and yes and no. So the buffer ordinance, as it has, if it's got no berm associated with it, it would have to be 300 feet. If there is a berm associated, there's a reduction clause based on the height of the berm. This one being 20 feet, I'm sorry.
That's the height of it.
Yeah, would reduce it. I'm pretty sure that 25 feet reduces it 150 feet. So 20 feet would be somewhere around like I don't know 180 feet. But it looks like you're beyond that here.
Right. So that was. I think that's a little bit of the confusion is with the old ordinance we had filed originally with that.
Oh, yeah,
Now
okay.
with the new one in place, but with the berm reduction, whatever gets us down to 150 feet width at the buffers, that's what we would be after. So if the height needed to be 25 feet to get to the 150-foot wide, then
Okay.
that's what we would do.
But on the back side of that, how wide is that? 300?
On the back
on, on
side of
the
which?
on the back and
The perimeter of the
yeah.
batch plant, that's shown right now at 150 feet.
But it's against industrial, isn't it?
It is.
Is it
on
against
one
industrial?
side.
Okay.
Yeah, one side, the other side's against AR1, I believe.
It's industrial where the old chip factory and the,
Yes, ma'am.
and then the,
IDA properties
and
behind
the,
that.
the property there that's, so, can you put that last slide up so I can, yeah. Okay, so show me where the 150 is. It's right there, it's that one?
The red?
So the 150 is, can I control the mouse? There's on the southwest part of the site, that dashed line that is offset from the property line, that's 150 feet from the AR side. And then on the other side, it's reduced because it's against industrial.
So how much is that?
That perimeter against the industrial is 30 feet.
And the plat next to it is currently AR1 and B3 on the frontage side, correct?
That's right.
You're right, Tim, it's a 25 foot for 150 feet.
So the berm would have to go up to 25 feet?
25 feet.
If we wanted to keep it at 150, yes.
Right, right.
4 to 1 pitch and a 25 foot.
That's right. And then, so what we would have to do is construct the berm to fit. So the whole purpose of the 150-foot buffer for us and targeting that is to give him enough operating area within the plant. So we would need to do whatever it took to get, the buffers to that width so that Mr. Baca can operate his plant.
Okay, and just to clarify again on the hours, I'm sorry I tuned out for a second. I'm showing in here 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday as needed. And then if it's needed outside, there will be notification provided to the neighbors. Is that?
So I just clarified Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 5
Okay,
p.m.
so 6 a.m., okay.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, just tossing this out there, obviously this plan will need to be started up to see how everything's gonna go. And this is for the, the commissioners consider. Before we set hours, potentially, should there be someone out there to kind of see what that noise is gonna be, before giving a definitive rain on that. And then beyond that, the dust control, I know we mentioned it, but, obviously target 0 is where it'd like to be. If it is an issue, what are some of the ways that it could be mitigated? Just say,
The dust.
yeah,
So the piece of equipment that's going to be put on the plant, it's produced by Vince Hagen, and they're a background company that does this across the globe. They actually invented the concrete plant. But how it works is it's all controlled electronically. The dust control is bags. Basically, it all comes out and it's captured in the bags with vacuum, and it's sucked in the bags. And then when the bags are full, they get notified. They get a heads up. They have a control panel that tells them the bags are full or how much they've got left in there. And then they have to continuously maintain these things. So they'll have a person that operates this and keeps tabs on how that system is operating. So when the bags get to a certain, a certain level, they'll have to empty those out.
okay.
And that actually goes on the plant. So when the concrete's being mixed and everything, that's when the dust happens. This actually fits on the plant to keep the dust from getting in to the air. We've seen efficiencies on these things, and it's published. And it can range anywhere from 90 to 99%, just depending on how well it's maintained.
Should this, everything's mechanical.
Yep.
And it rises above that. Is there a plan for mitigation for that potentially?
Yeah, so I don't want to speak for Miguel here, but I imagine if there's any malfunction of it, that the plant would stop, right? And then repaired, brought up to code or spec or full operation. And then once that's done, the plant would go back into operation.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Well, how many feet is the concrete plant gonna be from Highway 80? Approximately.
So just to give you a sense of the distance on the plan, so the zoning line is 300 feet from the right-of-way of Highway 80.
The berm?
And then
The berm is?
the front line of the zoning. So the berm width is 65 feet from there. So you've got about 365 feet before you get to the actual plant site.
Okay. So from the frontage of the road to the berm, we have,
300 feet, and then the berm starts.
okay, and then the plant is
65 feet
from the
from
berm.
that line. Yep.
Okay. And then with right away, easement, 400 feet, give or take. And then that road width, yeah.
80
okay.
foot right away, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So 450 feet, give or take.
From the road.
Very good. Any further questions or anything further, Neil?
No, sir.
Commissioners?
Not right now.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone here is in opposition, please come forward.
Excuse me.
My name is Kathy Sheffield. If you're looking at Highway 80, according to what I am on the left-hand side of him. I want to know what the setback for me is going to be because I can see his place right now, and he can see mine. And I want to make sure that something's there because silica, once it's in your lungs, it's there forever.
Yes, ma'am. So you are parcel, let's see here. 354, 27, and 2310, I believe. Or 2300. She has the little piece of B3 at the very top there, the blue. Yes. Is that correct, ma'am, right there? Where they're dragging? Do you have like a small automotive shop at the front and then the rest is?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
And the shop is no longer in operations. But I've lived there for 43 years. My concern is the hours because concrete makes money. When they need a supply of it and they contact somebody, they're gonna do it. We suffered with the chip mill for years. Of course, it's dead and gone now, and it wasn't supposed to run specific hours, but it ran 24 hours a day. Okay, we had the lights, we had the noise, and of course now that's gone. But when this running exceeds the hours that's been agreed upon, who do we contact to say, hey, we have a problem out here? There's a glitch. We already have 3 concrete plants on Highway 80, by the way. One's right off the road at Old River, SRM, and the old junkyard, Meldrum Junkyard that's been turned into a concrete plant. And so that's my next question. When you have concrete that you can't use, it has to be cut away, and it's brought back to the site, what are they gonna do with it? How are they gonna crush that up? Or is it taken off somewhere else? That has not been discussed. I really am concerned about this being right next door to me. I can't get out of the driveway now. And now I'm gonna have that left-hand or the right-hand turn going into the property with trucks there. They're not gonna do anything with Highway 80 at this point. Everything's focusing on 16. I don't imagine any of you would like to have a concrete plant next to you either. And we all know that Highway 80 is one of the most dangerous roads we have in our county. I hear the sirens all the time. So I don't know who we would call. And silica dust, these bags that they're talking about, when they get a hole, how are they going to be replaced as they should be? Because all that stuff costs money when you're doing this. So, and I think those are some of the things that may go by the wayside. But I am concerned about the silica. I'm concerned about the hours. I do not have my head in the sand. I do know that that is a U.S. truck route. Also, that whole area will be commercial at some point. But I have concerns over this, even though we have all these promises being made or considerations to get this to go through. I'm not sure, gentlemen and ma'am, that this is all going to go off without a hitch down the road, because we have faced it before out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Comment, the plant there at the old
Meldrum.
junkyard, that's
Yeah.
been shut down because they were out of compliance. They weren't zoned for that operation there. So they've been cited with code enforcement, and I believe they're going to remove that material, aren't they?
That's what they've been told.
That's what I saw. There was that big material that they brought from sites that they can't use because it didn't meet the proper standards.
Oh, I don't know, but they did it illegally. They weren't supposed to even
But
bring
it
it
was
there.
huge pieces of concrete. What I want to know is this is supposed to be 1 to 4 family. If they have concrete that didn't meet the specs or something happened with it during the pour and they take it up, is it going to be brought back to the plant? How are they going to dispose of it? Because it's not going to have the protection for the silica when they're making it that we're supposed to get. If they're going to destroy it there or crush it, make crush and run, what's going to happen to it if they have a situation like that?
Okay, so
And they
you're-
bring it from one of their sites,
So you're looking at the reclamation process, should that be a part of this facility?
especially for the silica.
Gotcha.
And I have asthma. I did visit these other, especially the one on Old River Road. Every plant and tree was full of that dust. So I've done my homework. So I am concerned about the dust and the vegetation on my property being full of it. So you cannot capture it all. That's impossible. So, thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am. The 80 corridor, Tim, state route, what are the plans with that? Where's the state with that? as far
So,
as-
the county's trying to get a little bit ahead of the state in their plans on it. The state had put in the Coastal Empire plan that the entire 2-lane section of 80 all the way to Bullock was to be 4-laned. We are doing a federally funded corridor study out there to really make the recommendations on how that's done, drainage-wise, traffic control, signals, everything in the works. That is underway right now, and I believe they're coming in front of the board in February to show their work product so far. Kimley Horn, who's doing it for us. But if I were, this is one of the things that I do want to discuss with GDOT when we go to Atlanta next month, is that I do believe that that's probably a priority for them right now. At the very least, 80 to 280, and getting that entire section 4-laned.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm Dennis Hales. I live on Georgia Road, about halfway down it, and my wife and I, and we've been there for like 40 years also. I got several things here, but it won't take near as long as what was going on earlier. But just before the election, he tried to open up a concrete plant there, and it was turned down. And I believe, Mr. Deloach, that you had worked at a concrete plant. I just retired after 50-something years of doing electrical work, and we did commercial, industrial work, and we poured a lot of concrete sometimes too, in case in our duct banks and stuff. But there's a lot more dust stirred up, and you can explain it, I guess, and I'd like when y'all do y'all's talk to do that, but moving that material around, dumping it out in that truck, they don't put bags around that kind of stuff, and that dust is gonna fly. And silica is, I've done some research on it. I don't like using my phone or a computer, but I've done some, and it's a fraction of the size of a grain of sand, so it's gonna float a lot further. They say it can go miles. And on our street, we have, I'm getting to be one of the oldest. There's one or two more that I think might still got me beat, but there's a lot of people that raise their grandchildren on our street. And the family, on one piece of property, there's the grandparents and the grandchildren. My neighbors across the street, they have 4 grandboys, and they go from 2 up to about 6, I guess. I can't keep up with age, but they're all running, and they keep them about as much as anybody does. And they're very concerned about the silica. And silica is, years ago, I breathed a lot of it. I'm on one of them that's was on the CPAP. I've got Inspire now. I got a guy that worked with me that's about 10 years younger that his lungs are shutting down, and he told me one time he knew it from, we used to breathe the dust. They used to cut dry inside schools, and I'd turn the breaker off, and they come back, and then finally I'd take the wire off the breaker to keep them from running, and you blow the stuff out your nose. And I know they do a lot more to try to keep it down, but you can't keep it, and it's not going to be able to keep it down in that small of area. Houses we were right across the street from this. There's people closer than I am. I'm halfway down the street. My wife was counting the houses within a half a mile of this area, and you probably got close to 100 residents that are going to be affected by this being put in there. You got them right on down to almost down to 17 where it runs in up yonder. But the reason y'all shut it down last time, the reason that I heard, Mr. Deloach, you mentioned that a truck traveling, I think, no, you mentioned that if they pull out fully loaded, they couldn't, because of vehicles traveling 65 miles an hour couldn't, they're not going to be accelerate like they need to do. I Googled it, and on the reverse part of that is, them truck, when they coming back or when they're traveling 60, 65 miles an hour, it takes over 200 more feet for them to stop than it does a regular vehicle. So it's, the same things. The only thing now is worse than what it was. There's more trucks on that road, and y'all know what I'm talking about. It's increased from the last time we've met here. Unbelievable. We sit out there a while ago just trying to get here, and of course it was rush hour going home too from George Road. But and Forrest said that he wasn't in favor of it last time. So it's just, to me, the little bit that I've pulled up and looked at, and y'all mentioned it a while ago, gentleman over here, and I've got it on here, but it said that it needed to be 25 feet. They went 16 the first time they met here. They came back to 20, and then they went, they hadn't been, that was it. They went at 20, but he's right. It was 25 foot is what y'all said. But it needs to be 300 foot back. That 150 foot's up to y'all. I mean, y'all, what I read on here is y'all can decide that it's going to be 150 foot back. And fall up under light industrial, and that's not what this is. And you said, one of the last things you said, Mr. Deloach, was that's heavy industrial, and it needs to be to the strictest part of it. I remember Forrest years ago, and Sharon had, my wife, had to figure out how many years we've been coming here, and it seems like 20, but it's only been 5 or 6. But it's a lot of stress on everybody having to go through all this stuff. But the first time, one of the the people, and another thing too is Mr. Baca owns the house next to it, and he owns that field next to it. And I was told by my wife's nephew that at one time when IP was open, that he was going to enter that way and go out. I don't know what his plan is in the future, but he owns that house and he owns that property. So when he gets what he wants here, something's going to happen there. If y'all approve of this, it's, you've opened it up for our end of Effingham County to anybody that wants it. You've done it for one. If you don't do it for the other, and I've heard y'all talk about it in the past, y'all gonna get sued. So we're asking that you don't do it. It's just not the right thing to do. I've got a neighbor that does have COPD, and he's here, and he may come up here in a minute. I don't know if he will or not. And his lung problems are very serious, and he's on oxygen sometimes. And when I burn behind my house. I burn a little pile and let the smoke see where it's going to go. And I always call John and ask him. And of course, he's just going to tell me, you can burn it. And I said, no, I'm not going to burn it if the smoke's going that way. So he don't have any room in his lungs anymore of this kind of problem. And I just wanted to touch on a couple of more things. I am going to read you one thing about silica. That came to be a real big thing with our company that I did work for. I retired about 3 months ago. But it says, silicosis, breathing crystalline silica can cause silicosis, which in severe cases can be disabling or even fatal. Lung cancer, exposure to respiratory crystalline silica increases the risk of developing lung cancer. And then you got COPD, and then you also have kidney disease caused from it. This came off of OSHA. This wasn't Google. The planning committee, the young lady that was on it was acted like going to the beach. She read something on Google was worse than being exposed to this. And a day at the beach, and I said, I guess if you got a spoon and you ate the sand, it might be, but it's just, it's not. It's very, very serious. And we just don't want that. I know, and I do want to ask a kind of a personal question here too in a minute, but I want to make sure I've covered everything. Also, even the two businesses he has out front, we'd love for him to have those two businesses. He can have his business out there, but the trucks and the concrete plant needs to go somewhere else. We would love to have some restaurants, things like that. We don't want our part of Effingham County to look like Garden City. We want it to look like it should be, with commercial, not in heavy industrial. Face it, right there on Highway 80. But the people that shop in those places right there are going to be exposed to it. It's just very serious, and a lot of people don't realize. I thought about having used to be my safety man, come out here and talk to y'all just how serious it was after they basically made fun of it, or she did. But it's a lot. Let me see if I make sure I covered everything. The hours of operation. Also, Mr. DeLuch, I worked, like I say, around a lot of concrete, and if we had a school to do, and I did several schools around Chatham County, helped a little bit on one we did in Effingham County. If it's a big pour, he's going to run all night long, and he's got more trucks parked over there now. Every one of those trucks would be steady going, and they would start about 2 o'clock in the morning, and they'd pour. And the reason they do that is because of traffic, and they also do it because the concrete setting up in the summertime. Yep. And to say that he'll call his neighbors, he don't need to be calling me at night. And that's ridiculous. If he's going to do daylight hours, if y'all going to pass this, it needs to be strict. But I think you should turn it down. To me, there's right and wrong, and it's wrong. You all want to ask me anything or scold me or anything? I did want to ask you one question. And when we first started doing this, it had only been 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm not being, Mr. Damon.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to I just want to know something. It just don't seem right to me. And Ricky Steele, which I know Forrest knows him good. He's one that would but he'd come up here and he'd have his ducks in order, but he defended us and all. And he's moved now, and one of the reasons he's moved is because all that's been going on with the development. He moved out to Clio, but his wife also has got a business in Rinkin. But he told me when we first started that when y'all vote, and if it comes out a tie, that the chairman always goes with the person, like in this case would be Forrest. And to me, your job, and this is my opinion, but your job is to be a judge of right and wrong for this county, kind of like what you said when you were sworn in. And of course, doing the development, but is it right or is it wrong? And not, but it was automatically. And what made me see that was true, the last man that was in here, and he's a good man. But you could tell he didn't like what was going on by the comments he made, but at the end of it, he went with it. And to me, that's the time to come up and do right.
But our
and wrong.
previous
So-
chairman, I think in 8 years, only voted 2 times.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was over.
He doesn't, chairman doesn't have a regular vote.
Doesn't he make the decision if it's a tie?
Yes, sir.
He
I'm
will
tiebreaker.
vote.
Huh?
He will vote, but the previous chairman, Wesley Corbett, he was in 2 terms, 8 years. And I was in same time he was, and he voted 2 times in 8 years.
Really? And with ties?
Yeah, the only time the chairman votes is like a mayor, is if there's a tie.
Right, and it's over.
In which that was
Right.
very, very rare that he ever
But you would
voted, but
vote-
he would voice his
You
opinion.
would over
Correct.
what's best for the county and best for.
That's correct, and I like Forrest, don't get me wrong, but we don't always agree on everything, so, I will take the totality of this, the situation into
Yeah.
consideration and make a decision at that time.
Well,
I try to ask a lot of questions during, for public information, for one thing.
Right.
I feel like a lot of times, one of the things that I observed was, we assume you guys know a lot more than you do. In any job, I believe you were in low voltage before, correct?
I've done a little bit of low voltage.
Okay.
I mostly did, we did.
Well, with electrical, if you're explaining something to
We
someone.
subbed out most of our low voltage.
Right. So with your electrical work, you have to basically take and find analogies or things to kind of find parallels with people so they understand what you already know because it's what you do.
Right.
So, yes, I will take whatever, if it comes to that, and, take the totality of everything and try to make the best decision I can.
Well, I appreciate it. I didn't know. To me, if you didn't do that, then there would be no need to have a chairman. It would
Absolutely.
just, so it would just be an automatic thing, but,
Right.
thank y'all. I'm sure I missed something, and my wife's gonna tell me about it later, but, let me see.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Hale.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Do we have to do the same state? My name is Latita Schumann. I live on George Road. I'm a resident on George Road there. I'm here to object as well. I have to read mine, I'm sorry. And I plead with our representatives to please listen to the concerns and objections of their residents, their taxpayers, and constituents. I feel confident in stating that my oppositions represent the majority of the said group. Emails and statements have been made citing numerous items, among those traffic safety concerns and adding to an already overtaxed existing infrastructure on Highway 80. The existing infrastructure is not being capable of safely accommodating additional commercial traffic, lighting pollution, health concerns including noise pollution at all hours and day and night, regardless of the stated business hours. As Mr. Dennis said, anyone in South Georgia knows the reality of concrete making is 24/7. And what will those calls do other than additionally disturb us residents? I don't want anyone calling me and telling me they're going to make concrete and there's nothing I could do about it, essentially. Just rubbing it in my face. It's not going to stop him from operating outside of posted business hours. Air pollution, which for us is a major concern, as we have small children and we have multiple people in our neighborhood with respiratory conditions, some that have CPAP machines, as well as one that has COPD, pulmonary hypertension, congestive heart failure, requiring 24/7 oxygen. And he moved here. He bought a house here. for the better environment. This will compromise and reduce his already shortened lifespan. The planning dispute against our concerns about silica in the air was that she read online that on a windy day at the beach exposes you to the same amount of silica. Well, going to the beach is a choice. This is not our choice. This will not be occasional. This will be every day. This situation in the air quality is being imposed and forced on us, and no equipment or reduction measures will 100% guarantee that that silica will not escape and will not come to our homes and our yards. There's no technology or ability that exists that will remove that. And how do we battle or push back against this when the rules seem to change and the classifications to suit and favor industry? Per the charts found on the Effingham County website, ready-mix concrete is heavy industrial and requires a 300-foot buffer. But planning called it light industrial so that they can fit it into the space with a 150-foot buffer. This passed planning being called light industrial with a 150-foot buffer. We feel as if no one is listening to the residents. Evidence shows that the builders, the businesses, the companies, commercial industries are being favored over those who live here and are saying no. Most of them don't live here. We do, and we pay the taxes to prove it. Who will represent the residents, the taxpayers, and the constituents of Effingham County and speak for us on our behalf and vote accordingly?
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm Joey Smith. I lived on George Road, my wife and I, for going on 41 years. And I was the one that Dennis was talking about as having the grand boys. We got 4 and we'll have another one in February, and we pretty much keep them a lot. They run around our house and playing in the pool and spend a lot of time outdoors. And but I think each one of y'all that's got kids, got grandkids, you put yourself in our shoes. I don't think you'd want to be in our situation. And I just hope you take a lot of thought and a lot of time to make the right decision. I mean, it's a safety issue. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else in opposition? Okay. Neil, if you would, and Miguel, you mind coming up real quick? I have a few questions. Just in a little bit of research I've done, it appears that OSHA does the monitoring for the silica exposure. Is that correct? As far as how much is permitted in a particular work area. Is there any plans of doing any monitoring on site outside of the machine telling you?
You know, I'm not familiar with the air testing that you can do on site for the dust. He's asking if there's additional testing that can be done outside of what's being pulled out of the bags. Like if there's anything that you can test on site other than what's coming out of the hopper.
Yeah, the Georgia EPD is coming to the plant and actually test. I don't know what tests they run, but they do to test the quality of the air and all of that stuff. And then we're gonna be like, I don't want to have any problems over there. I myself work in the plant. You know, I have my kids and my family working over there as well. A lot of my family works there too. I know about the silica, I know how dangerous it is, and it's in my best interest to keep it down all the way to almost to zero or to the best I can, because I don't want to get sick myself, and I don't want my kids to get sick. You know, I don't want my wife to bring me lunch every day and then for her to be sick or my little baby to be sick. You know, I do understand the neighbors and the concerns, but it's in my best interest to do everything I can possibly can to avoid any potential problems. And if there is any new thing coming up next year, or or the year after, I will buy it just to make it better for everybody, because I'm in the first hand, the first one affected for the silica or for anything happening in the place. And I feel responsible for every one of my workers that work there. I'm also very worried about their safety and their security. So it's my best interest to keep it all to the best I can.
Very good, thank you. The reclamation was brought up.
Yeah, most of the concrete that we come back from it come back from the pours, we make concrete barricades. Every one of the concrete barricades blocks takes 1 yard, and we have very minimum waste. And we do that just because we don't want to crush it and we don't want to do anything like that. And we sell it to places like landscaping places. I don't know if you've ever seen some of those, with the concrete barricades on the sides, and they got like mulch and stuff like that. So we sell it to that people. So like everyone, let's say we got 2 yards coming back, we make 2 blocks. And then eventually we're gonna have a little of the waste that becomes, more whatever, and we remove it from the site.
Okay.
Is there any crushing? Are you gonna be doing any crushing?
No, we try not to do any crushing. If I have to do any crushing, I'm gonna have to take it to remediation resources down in Savannah, or
So
somebody
there
like
will
that.
be
That's what I was gonna ask, if it was it gonna be in a contained area, basically? A building or something like that, to where it was
Yeah.
self-contained, so, okay. So you're not in the business of repurposing?
No, we do concrete barricades.
So how do you make the barricades then from it?
We have concrete blocks, forms already on site installed and ready for us to be used. So as soon as the concrete come back, they already know what to do and where to put it, and they just come over there, just put it straight from the truck, goes into the form. It's exactly one yard of concrete, but we all know what to do. We are instructed to do that.
So you're saying any that's already been poured, though, that has to come back, you're not gonna do anything with it at
No,
your-
they-
Wouldn't think anything poured comes back. It would only come back in the truck. I
Yeah.
think.
Like, let's say somebody orders.
I guess I'm going back to what you said about the, what was down there where the old East of Eden junkyard is. That's all I know it as, because they do have a bunch of concrete, looks like sidewalks maybe or something, that's down there.
Yeah.
Crushing it illegally.
And it's usually crushed
Yeah, that's
and
what I was
then,
asking, are you bringing back any concrete pulled up from roadways or failed jobs or whatever and crushing concrete on site, or just producing new concrete?
Yeah, sometimes we take back, like, let's say we demo a little sidewalk for a customer or a little driveway or something, we bring it back, and then we got so many ton, and we take it back to remediation resources back in Savannah, and they crush it over there for us.
But you're only dealing with your concrete. You're not taking other people's concrete. You're only dealing with yours.
Yeah, only my concrete.
And
If this board were to consider it, just to make it, would you entertain a stipulation of no crushing concrete on site?
I can do that.
I mean, I'm just throwing that, I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, if that is something, yes, I can do that.
Okay. Another concern from the neighbors that brought up was traffic on Highway 80. I understand GDOT will have to approve this. However, staging of trucks obviously can't block off or congest Highway 80. Neil, do you guys have an adequate plan for the amount of trucks that may or may not be staging?
Yes, so staging trucks, we can limit the staging that's allowed on site with the site plan. As far as trucks turning in, we could increase the turn lane length to add length to the turn lanes. But as far as trucks pulling out, with the plan, we can limit the amount of queuing that the trucks can do at the entrance, right? So via concrete medians and signs and that type of thing, and just his operational plan, we can say that no more than 2 trucks can stage at the entrance at a time. We can control that with the site plan.
Okay. Because, obviously, the biggest concern there would be a left-hand out, right?
Exactly.
For that road.
Yeah. And if it's helpful to not allow left turns for certain times of the day, I don't think that's an issue. Just depending on, it all depends on the pace of operations.
Yeah, it seems like every road's just
Yeah.
slammed these days, so.
Right.
You're gonna have to do a traffic study anyway, correct?
We would do one, yes.
Okay. And would that be, would that give like peak hours and peak times for all that as well?
It will. Yes, sir. So they would do counts on Highway 80, get the peak times, and then basically we would set up the driveways based on the peak times and, you know, the peak hours of our operation.
Gotcha. Okay. Already discussed the hours of operation. I'm a little leery on approving set hours personally, just because until you hear what it's going to be, 6 a.m. is early for some people. So just tossing that out there for the commissioners to consider. And then the, how would you, I mean, you talked about notifying your neighbors, and that's more of a forgiveness than permission thing. How would that notification happen? How often do you foresee, you know, because I feel like you could potentially open a floodgate for a 24/7/365 operation with just notification. Something for the commissioners to discuss as well as to consider delineating, you know, hours of operation to be formal outside of that kind of what could be perceived, and I'm sure is perceived by opposition as an open invitation for, you know, any time of day, any as need arises. So,
Right. And just a little bit of context there with his business. So he supplies concrete to these residential neighborhoods for the most part, right? That's most of his business. They're only allowed to pour and place concrete during business hours. So in these, you know, in these neighborhoods that have homes in there that he does most of his work, he can't place concrete after hours.
Yeah.
So that does limit how much work he does after hours. Now, there will be sometimes
I was
he
just
does
saying, I
because
mean,
of
you
his
know,
business.
your business model now may be that, but it may
Right.
change because
Right.
you have to evolve or you fail. So he may get a contract for something that may be part of the Hyundai plan or, you know, whatever, as that develops for the OEMs around it. So, again, I would ask commissioners to consider that, on the hours of operation portion, as well. We talked about the monitoring. So, if there is an availability for monitoring, I know when I've done, prior to working at Georgia Power, I was part of low voltage as well, and part of working at a sugar refinery or any place that has fine dust and things like that. There was certain monitoring that you had to have in that area. Just tossing it out there for peace of mind, not necessarily a stipulation, but if there's anything that could monitor that dust level so that the neighbor comes over and says, hey, it seems a little dusty today, you'd be able to tell them, you know, whatever the parts per million was in that, you know, that time frame. So just something to toss out there is something that, you know, maybe an offering to the community if approved.
Yeah.
Because it appears that EPD, just in the research that I've done personally, there's no, basically OSHA, it comes from the federal regulations as far as the silica monitoring. There's no Georgia state federal monitoring of that, that I could find anyway, so.
I did see a Georgia air quality permit that they have to have.
That's correct.
They do periodic inspections. But
Right.
to say that it's with any, you know, it's every month or it's every week, that's definitely not the case. I'm not familiar with the technology of the testing, but we can look into that and
Yes.
see what's out there.
I think it'd be a show of good faith, absolutely, if this were to proceed forward, so just
Okay.
my 2 cents, that's all.
Thank you.
I do have one question, if I could ask. How close is the closest house to the concrete plant itself?
Yeah, I'm not very sure how close the closest house it will be. I'm not very sure about that.
I can pull
But
it
the
up on
concrete plant,
Google Earth and see.
So, Ms. Sheffield, we've got a 150-foot shown on the plan, buffer, you know, on the site. And then there's a strip of wetlands that's probably about that same length. So I would think to her house, you've got at least 300 feet.
it's more than that.
Is it more? I'm just,
Yeah. I'm thinking the closest house in Sheffield will be at least no less than 800 feet.
It's 1,200 to to the, I'll call it the center of what would be the operations.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
where, you know, your,
Yeah, the
how
concrete,
your site would lay out.
yeah, the concrete plant will be behind the house that is already there.
I'm sorry?
Is a house already there?
Yeah,
the
I just
con-
clicked on that house and then clicked on Ms. Sheffield's
Yeah, the
house.
concrete plant will be behind the house.
And how far was that?
What?
It's 1,200?
Yeah. And I will say, and this is just for the crowd, I live, and I just looked, 1,700 feet from a concrete plant. Hasn't been operational in a couple of years, but it was for the first 4 years, and it was.
SRM.
There's a pipe plant next door to that. So I do have experience in this.
I know you.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I'm showing approximately 1,531 feet from the proposed location to the first house at George Road. Is what I'm seeing.
You coming up with about 1,200 feet?
About
15.
1,530,
To the site.
yeah, from the site,
Yeah,
from
it
the
just
actual
depends on where
plant
you-
site.
Yeah. And I looked at, my home to the center of that is 1,700 feet.
Yeah. And to Ms. Sheffield's was roughly about 2,000, 2,100 feet. Okay. Very good. Any further questions for them guys? If I'm gonna close the public hearing, if that's the case. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Public hearing is now closed.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
My district. These are always the hardest decisions to make. There's always a group for and an individual against. We try to represent, when we make these decisions, the individual asking as well as the citizens. But because there's 20 here and 1 here, that doesn't outweigh his right to ask to do this. This was denied in the past, but the reason why was he's going to put a concrete plant in the middle of a field. No protections whatsoever. There's no other concrete plant in this county that I'm aware of that has any type of dust suppression or any type of noise suppression, and he's willing to make that expense. I worked my entire career for Georgia Power at a fossil plant. We had precipitators and a bag house to catch that dust. Same, probably similar, very similar to what he's going to do. Whenever there was a malfunction in the bag house, they were immediately called out to make those repairs, which I would assume you would have to do the same thing. So, get my train of thought. Highway 80's, by our future land use map, is going to be a commercial corridor. Again, whenever this was turned down the first time, I met with Mr. Baca, and I pretty much explained the problem. And but what he came up with, I thought, was a good fit. It's a commercial on the front. Will be a 25-foot berm with a concrete plant behind it with all these noise and dust suppression systems. I don't know what more he could do. Nobody wants any type of change along Highway 80. I understand that. GDOT's going to make it 4-lane. It's not as quick as everybody wants, but it's coming. A lot of the traffic on Highway 80 is coming from other counties. It's not just coming from the local folks, but it's a public road. It's a truck route, and anybody can drive up and down it. And he's got the same right that you do to use that road. There's not going to be any crushing on site. It's going to be for the production. I think what he's shown as far as the commercial side will be a benefit to Highway 80. It's the best design I've seen. And I don't know what more we could ask of Mr. Baca to try to work with the group or the public on this. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
All right, I'll make some comments next. As Commissioner Floyd said, the biggest thing from last time to this time is we actually have details. Last time we had none. It was, hey, we're putting a concrete plant out in the middle of this field, and that was it. Mr. Baca has got an engineer this time. I've met with Mr. Baca, gotten his side of the story, gotten details from him. So One important thing to point out is, again, we didn't know this last time, this whole concrete plant area is going to be concrete surface. I don't know of any other plant in the county, I don't know of any other plant, period, that would do that. I know most of your plants have part of their sites that's got concrete on it, and those sites typically, I mean, that helps out greatly with the dust. But I have not seen another plant that has their entire batch plant area in concrete. It was brought up earlier about we need to do the 300-foot buffer. Well, the reason why we're looking at the 150-foot buffer is he is offering to do a 25-foot vegetative berm, which is in our ordinance. So if they give us the 25-foot vegetative berm, then they're giving us something, so then they're allowed to have less of a buffer, which is 150 feet. It was mentioned about the controlled staging of the trucks, which we would, if this passed, we would address that in the site plan at that time. Before, there was no turn lanes mentioned, no traffic studies mentioned. They've offered to do that at this point. And I just know a brand new concrete batch plant is not cheap. So Mr. Baca definitely has financial incentive to take care of that plant. And one thing I found in the construction process, most people are most nervous through the concrete phase, because once that plant manager hits the batch button, you can't take it back, because it's going to set up and it's going to be ruined if you don't pour it at the intended site within a certain amount of time. So if anything happens with that plant, and I'm sure with this being a brand new plant, there's going to be some alarm, something goes off, and if the plant does shut down and you're in the middle of a pour, that's a really big incentive to hurry up and get whatever fixed very quickly. Also, in the sketch design, Mr. Baca shows 2 commercial buildings up front. And
3, actually.
Or 3, yeah, thank you.
Pam,
3.
Pam, can you pull those up? I haven't seen there you go. I was curious.
So we see the buildings up front, and I would just think that obviously he does not want anything to happen to those buildings or not look good, because that would not be good for business. So I think, again, he's got plenty of financial incentive to make sure that plant is running properly and putting out as little dust as possible. It was talked about before on the reclamation side. So when I worked at the previous concrete plant, we did the same thing. We had forms already set up on site. It was normally 1 yard, as Mr. Baca said. Typically, the last truck on the job might possibly have a yard, maybe 2 yards at the most left. Whatever that customer calls in, that's what they're billed for. So if they call in 10 yards, they're getting billed for 10 yards, regardless if we pour 8. So the driver would bring back 2 yards of concrete. Your plant manager is going to notify the guy on the yard that's running the front end loader, just loading the materials into the batch plant, have the forms ready. The guys know to go over there, they pour in the forms, and then that sets up, and then you sell the forms later. And that's just a common practice I've seen that most plants do. Yeah, I think that was all the points that I had. And like I said, with the noise suppressor agreeing to not crush concrete on site, with the back house, I think that will greatly help things and help reduce the dust. And again, with having a brand new plant and having buildings right there on site, I just think that's even more incentive for Mr. Baca to make sure that dust is controlled. That's all I got.
Very good.
All right, well, we've heard 2 positives, so I'll thread negative for a little bit. First of all, I think some of the people that spoke against it said this, they don't have any trouble with what's out front. It's very nice, or at least I didn't hear that from any of y'all. you know, as far as that's concerned. So it's the concrete plant that naturally I have the biggest issue is, and so did the people opposing it. And I spoke with Mr. Baca. I mean, I let him know up front my concerns at the time. I do think he is trying to do the right thing to make a concrete plant the best it can possibly be, but it's still a concrete plant. And so you have to consider that. And so I'll start with the various issues that have been brought up tonight. As far as the hours of operation, the fact that part of the conditions says he can run it when he needs to and you know, run a batch at 2 and 3 in the morning means he can run a batch at 2 and 3 in the morning. Now, he may not do that a lot, but he can. And as far as, like you say, the notification, most of you don't want a notification anyway at 2 or 3, and I don't blame you. But just understand when this is voted for, if it's voted to pass it, you're pretty much allowing him to run this plant whenever he feels like he needs to, 24 hours a day. So that's just a fact. Now, he says he's not going to do it or do his best not to, but just understand that right's going to be given to him, and it'll be perfectly legal. The traffic is an issue. It's not a 4-lane highway yet. You're talking, I don't know how many trucks will come out during a batch, but it's not only the concrete trucks. I mean, there's sand trucks, there's gravel trucks. I mean, so you're not talking about one set of trucks. You're talking about several trucks going out at the same time because all that's needed in support of all this. And Highway 80 is crazy. I was over there because I rode over there Sunday afternoon, and it's crazy on Sunday afternoon. I can't imagine during the week. You know, I mean, I ride down it periodically, not as often as the people there, but the traffic has to be an concern because of the infrastructure that's not there yet. Yes, ultimately it will be better because it'll be a 4-lane road, but it'll be a while down. The dust control, just like somebody said, yes, he's going to put that in, and it's going to be better, but there's no way you can control it all. The bottom line to me in all this is if we've got to state all these conditions to put it there, it shouldn't be there. That's just my feeling on it. I just feel like if we've got to list all these 10 things and now we're talking about maybe adding another one about the reclamation, that to me should be the red flag to say it's not the place for it. Build your plant, but it doesn't need to be there. There doesn't need to be a heavy industrial right there. And I think he's a good man. I think really that he wants to do the right thing. But to me, Mr. Baca, if you really want to do the right thing, find another place to build your plant. Thanks.
One thing I probably would disagree is the stipulations. I would, on a concrete plant, I would probably want those stipulations wherever it's located. You know, like I said, I live, 1,700 feet from a plant. I've never had an issue. Noise-wise, it's and I know Ebenezer Road is not nearly as much traffic as US 80, but I don't. You can't. With concrete plants, it's location. The further you get it from where you want to take concrete, the more concrete trucks are going to be traveling the roads. With that, and the health concerns, I get it. But like I said, I live next to one, and out of the industry beside us, it's the least of my worries. But with that, I don't want the. I would ask that there not be grinding of concrete on site. That is allowed operation. But aside from that, I like the plan. I like the berm. It's unfortunately it's near the epicenter of where growth is occurring. And that's where they need concrete. I mean, that's just, that's my 2 cents.
I guess I'll go last. I like the new layout. I think it's great. I like the idea of buildings up front. I think we should stipulate the 25-foot berm instead of the 20, like you guys have talked about. I think a berm provides a lot more protection than distance, especially with noise. We found that out. We've seen studies. It makes a massive difference having a huge mound of dirt and vegetation as opposed to space and trees. Noise travels. I get complaints all the time because of the industry that we have going on now. It travels through the trees. You hear the noise. But with the berm, it changes everything. It's really good. The hours, that's a toughie for me. The buildings, I'd like to see timelines on those, because I've seen a lot of things happen in Effingham to where we're going to give us this, we're going to give you this commercial spot and build homes and different things like that, and then nothing ever happens with the commercial spot. So I would want some commitment on that and that. But the one thing I can't get past is the hours. You know, it's open. They're right. You're basically saying you can operate 24/7. You know, I think if I'm going to get on board with it, I need to see 0600 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and your Saturday hours, and that's it. I wouldn't even have a problem if you extended the hours in the afternoon a little bit. But to have an open door to do whatever, whenever, I wouldn't want to call like that in the middle of the night or any other time. Or I don't think it's fair to them. You know, is it in the right spot? Maybe, maybe not. But the fact is, it's near homes. I think it's far enough away to mitigate the dust. I've read several things where you guys were going through there. Minimum 500 feet, best if it's 1,000 feet or more. With the new dust controls and everything, probably not going to get a lot of dust, if anything at all. I doubt you'd see that. But noise and trucks and things at 2 in the morning, when I'm trying to get rest and I got to work tomorrow, that would be a big problem for me. That would be the biggest problem. So I can't support it with open hours like that. I could get on board, cleaning up a few of those things, but I don't think it's fair to them to have just open hours. That's where I'm at. But I like the plant. I mean, everything checks a lot of boxes for me. It's, like Commissioner Floyd said, it's a massive improvement of what it was last year, but those hours are tough. I know it's part of business, but if most of your business is residential, I would say, and you're in that residential area, why not respect that?
I understand that. The only reason I would disagree is behind a berm and he's got noise suppression equipment. There's trucks up and down Highway 80 24 hours a day. So trucks, I don't think that even applies. As far as the plant itself, we have noise ordinances. If there is such a concern, or if it is that loud, we can bring somebody out to do studies at night and find out just how much noise is coming across, you know. But that's up to you guys if you want to make some type of commitment.
That's when we want to burden them with that issue. And trucks, you know, that's what I do for a living. They sound a whole lot different when they're taking off and when they're just going by, especially cement trucks. You know, if they've got to go through gears or in an automatic, whether it's really loud getting on the highway and trying to get up to speed and get the RPMs going.
You also got those backup alarms. You hear those for miles, it seems like, those backup alarms.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, it's really a good layout. Maybe you get some restaurants up front or something like that. That would be really cool. I'd love something like that in my district. You know, I would be all over it as long as it's proper distance, proper hours, and some, you know, who doesn't want services around their house? I'd love that,
But to clarify on the berm, they have to do the 25-foot vegetated berm to get the 150-foot reduction.
That's correct.
Correct.
If it's
Okay.
unless they get a variance, that's a requirement. You don't even need to put that in as
it's not, okay.
Yeah, I think that's taken
So
care
it's
of.
understood then, okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, that would be my beef is the hours. I'd want to be something concrete, if you will. That,
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Neil, I want to give you guys the opportunity to address any of this.
So just talking with Miguel, we can commit 2 hours. I think just to kind of meet in the middle here, we'd like to commit to 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday, and then 6 a.m. to 12 noon Saturday, and that's it. So 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., and no after-hours pours or operations.
Yeah, and that will be to batch concrete. But we can still do some cleaning and maintenance inside without the noise and stuff.
Okay. I can live with that.
You said 6 a.m.
5 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday, and then 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday.
No Sundays.
No
No
Sundays.
Sundays.
No.
I'm big on my Sundays.
Okay.
What about the building timelines? Like I said, not to pick on you, but I've seen it happen so many times where, hey, look at this commercial piece and
Yeah.
nothing ever happens and you got a concrete plant and there's an empty spot. It's
Yeah.
zoned commercial, but nothing ever happens.
Yeah, for the buildings, I guess for the hours of the buildings that we're gonna rent it to people to put like a restaurant or a.
Yeah, I know the intention, but
Yeah, I
when-
think he's asking
when-
more about the construction timeline
when will they
potential.
Oh, we're gonna start the one building, the biggest building right away. We're gonna start that one right away.
Okay,
it'll be-
and that'll serve as your office, though, correct?
That will
the
be the hardware store.
Okay.
Some of that gonna be like a strip mall type thing, so people that can put a
Yes.
restaurant or other things in there, or.
Yeah, that's coming second.
See, and I think
And
one
I
thing,
will
to-
say that one of the buildings is on the, is from our discussion, is going to have to wait till there's water and sewer there. Is that correct?
Right,
It's
so
on the
there
septic
is-
field?
Septic that's needed, so
Yeah.
we'll have to plan it out accordingly.
Right, and so until we get, which we are working on, so it'll be 2 buildings until sewer, water and sewer is available, then then a third could be built.
Okay.
and I think, and Mr. Baca, thanks for committing to those hours, but I think why he doesn't mind doing that is because majority of his business model is residential. And it's
during the
not
day.
the late night or real early morning commercial industrial pours. So most of his stuff is happening in the morning by lunch. And
I try to look down the road too, that, you're done, you're tired, you sell out, somebody else has a concrete plant, and hey, man, most of my stuff's at night, and all of a sudden they got this open window to do that, so just trying to cover, and I appreciate what you've done to protect your neighbors. That was a big thing for me too, because I know how important a berm is. I'm like the berm guy here, 'cause I've seen the results, seen the noise studies, seen, the even beside what you're doing for dust control, that's gonna be a huge dust control thing in itself, vegetation, so I appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
Good. All right, with that.
Let me
Yes.
bring, because this came out in the planning board, there was some discussion because Mrs., I'm sorry, is it Sheffield? Was concerned about that there was some clear cut, and could that be replanted? And that, I don't think that was listed on here, since it looks like it is going. I think that should be addressed.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, since he's been very cooperative about trying to make all different things, that I'd like to see some decent trees and all put back to help with some of that with her.
Yes, ma'am. So with the addition of the berm on that side, to get the reduction that we need, we'll have to plant the berm. So we will absolutely supplement that area with plants.
With some
It'll be
decent-
part of the
With some
there's-
decent
there's
things that'll
certain-
grow up in good trees.
Yes, ma'am.
There's certain types of
Not
plants that
crepe
actually
myrtles.
help with that too. Are you guys gonna focus on those?
Yeah, whatever plants are best
I'm
to,
reading,
you know,
there's a
for that
lot
need, we'll
of
do.
plants that do better than others as far as control.
Yeah.
How would I put that in the motion? Plant trees in what area? Is it on the east side, west side?
West
On the
side.
berms?
Either west.
Nice trees.
Nice trees.
Christmas
I
trees.
think there's stipulations to what trees in the ordinance. they have to
There
plant.
is.
Yeah, the ordinance does have them
There
in there.
does have some, but
Yeah. Full trees. Okay. Anyone else, commissioners?
Is discussion closed?
We're discussing amongst ourselves up here. Yes, sir. Yeah, the public hearing is closed, yes, sir.
Good.
Good to go? Good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would there be a problem, Mr. Chairman, in allowing him to make a comment?
I don't have a problem with it, no, ma'am.
Sir, you're welcome to come up here and speak.
The question I've got is you're gonna allow him to put like, buildings in front of this property. Now, you're concerned about the closest house from our road being close to the plant, the concrete plant. Now you're gonna have public people coming to a restaurant and everything, and they're gonna be on top of this silica, breathing it. I know safety, I don't know if that's an issue with y'all, but it is with us. But now, their safety's not gonna be brought into it to be a factor on that either?
I think that actually helps you guys being in the homes, because that will be a concern. If there's any problems with that, then that's gonna get addressed before it ever gets to y'all. So that's another reason why I like the buildings, is because you're not gonna have a restaurant with a bunch of silica dust flying around.
But
You're gonna
just-
have to control
yeah,
it.
I understand, but just because he's shown you all this building, don't mean he's gonna do it. That's like putting lipstick on a pig. I mean,
No,
he might
we're-
do that later on down the road. You don't know that.
No, we just went over that. I thought it's gonna be in the stipulations.
May have opened the door.
Yeah, this will be
Alright.
last one.
And one of my neighbors, like I say, I'm not high-tech or anything else, but he mentioned that there's technology now that can detect
Sure.
silica.
I was just looking it up.
Can one be put, like on George Road side, and one be put on Kathy's?
I think that would be a stretch a little bit personally, but I have asked that he, requested, and I'm not trying to make it a mandate
I mean,
unless
we
they
could buy
decide to
one
do that.
ourselves, but it'd be nice if the county maintained, just to
Right.
check and
Well,
see.
I was going to mention after the meeting anyway, there's certain equipment that we need for monitoring if we're going to maintain the ordinances and all that, that we need to purchase internally for these types of devices. So yes, sir.
Okay,
No,
thank
no,
you.
you're fine. Thank you. Thank you. I literally had it pulled up on my
Would
my
probably be more
laptop.
handheld, right? Or,
Yeah,
for the
actually,
most
there are
part,
companies that you can rent this equipment from
Yeah.
that are for OSHA testing and all that. I was looking at that because we wouldn't want to maintain, I don't think we'd want to own it because you have to have them calibrated and all that all the time, so,
Certified and-
yeah. Just for it to be legit or hold up in court type stuff, so, very good. All right, with all that, it's time for the motions.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve with the changes of the berm will be 25 foot. Hours of operation will be from 6 to 6, Monday through Friday, 6 to 12 on Sunday.
That's
5 to
5 to
6.
5.
I mean, is it 5 to
yeah.
5? Okay, I can't even read my own writing. 5 to 5, Monday through Friday. 6 to 12 on Saturday, nothing on Sunday. There will be no crushing of concrete. Personally, I don't think there needs, well, since there's not going to be a need to, there will be no notification because they're not going to be operating after hours. What else? I think that was it. Oh, and there will be trees planted on the west side of the property to bring that into compliance.
In the buildings. They said it was gonna start buildings at the same time.
And the commercial, building will be constructed at the same time as the concrete plant. Okay. That's my motion.
Very good, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
One opposed. Motion carries.
And this is in addition to the stipulations
This
established
already
by
lists
Right, so we won't have a second reading tonight. The next meeting will be the second reading.
But you will have to delete that if concrete batching is needed, they'll be notified from number 4.
Right, yeah.
Correct. Very good, thank you. All right, moving into item 5. It's a public hearing. Planning Board recommends approving an application by Clarence Wilson to rezone plus or minus 5.81 acres from AR1 to AR3 to allow for permitted uses in AR3 located at 459 Zettler Loop, map number 417B, parcel number 27 and 28 in the 2nd District.
Jennifer Rose, Planner 1. The applicant seeks to rezone the total of 5.81 acres to AR3 Agricultural Residential to resurvey the lots and provide more livable area and road frontage to each lot. The required road frontage in AR3 is 100 feet. The parcel falls within the agricultural residential area on the future land use map. At the December 9th, 2025 Planning Board meeting, the board recommended approval and the motion carried unanimously. Staff has completed its review of the application and finds it to be complete, subject to the following conditions. Development Services must review and sign the plat, then the plat must be recorded for zoning to take effect. Any new encroachment onto Zettler Loop must obtain an encroachment permit from Effingham County and meet the requirements of the access management policy.
Good, thank you. If the applicant is here, has anything to add, please come forward.
Can she explain what she just said? My name's Terry Miller. I'm Clarence's daughter. I live at 455. All we're doing is, when my mom and dad got divorced, she got the front half and he got the back half. We want to put the lines back to the original line, that's all.
Okay, it's just a recombination.
So we still have 2 lots, we just have,
Equal size.
there you go, for the kids, sooner or later.
Thank you for simplifying that.
Easy button.
Government always complicates things.
I don't have any berms and I don't have any of that other stuff either, sorry.
No grinding.
No grinding.
No dust.
It's reclamation, guys, reclamation. Okay, very good. Thank you, ma'am.
So what exactly what she said, what does that mean?
It's
I mean,
technical talk for
It's
what you
just
just
exactly
said.
what you
It is?
just.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about, having to break it down, because we get it. You guys don't always get it, so,
Get it.
yeah.
I don't always get it either.
Maybe we should
All
consider
right,
that.
now. So she says that lot has to have 100-foot frontage, and neither one of them have, right?
For
So
AR3.
Put
can we
together.
still use them to live on? I mean,
Yes.
okay, because I think combined, they probably didn't have 100-foot.
Yeah, Jennifer, or Pamela, one of you guys
Nothing's
want to
changing in
explain?
that regard. I mean,
No, it's not growing, it's not shrinking, it's just,
Yeah, they have a easement that goes in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's right there on that corner. So they do already have an easement that comes off of it.
but if we put the line to where I need it,
Or-
it's not needed for an easement.
Right, but if you're reverting back to
I
what it
have a-
originally was.
Yeah, I have a new,
You have a new plat map?
survey.
You were about to get what you wanted.
Right, just let it go. Just let it go.
Let's see what that is.
I mean, it looks like it did before.
You can, well, I'd like to see what
Yeah,
you
come
got.
on.
Yeah, please.
I didn't know how many prints, I might not have enough.
Just fine, I
You're
can
my
look.
guy, right?
I'm your guy. Oh, this is different.
Excuse me.
does that answer all the
She's
questions?
drawing basically
Yeah.
triangle, kind of a
Mhm.
trapezoid piece in between the two.
That's how it looked when they.
Oh, it was? Okay, it looks different on
Many, many
the
years
current
ago.
plat map.
So being on
Have
the
a few
corners
more
can be
if anybody
atypical
wants.
anyway, so.
Yeah, still
I'll
can be
trust you.
non-conforming.
It would be
Yeah.
non-conforming, so it
Non-conforming
wouldn't really fall
AR3.
under 100 foot, because
Yeah.
you gotta be able to
Trust
use
you.
it. So,
Thank you.
yeah. They turned it a different angle. All right, I think we're good. Thank you. Is anyone here in opposition to this? Please come forward. Kim, you're smiling. Are you opposed? Okay, very good. All right. Being there are none, I'll close the public hearing, open up for discussion and a motion.
No discussion, I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Item 6, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Clarence Wilson to rezone plus or minus 5.81 acres from AR1 to AR3 to allow for permitted uses in AR3 located at 459 Zettler Loop, map number 417B, parcel number 27 and 28 in the 2nd District. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Item 7, Public hearing. Consideration to approve an application by Eric Henry for a variance from section 3.21.1 to allow for the occupation of an RV camper during the construction of a home in AR2 located at 2819 Sand Hill Road, map number 301C, parcel number 2 in the first district.
Thank you. Kimberly Barlett, Senior Planner. The applicant has requested to occupy a camper or RV during the construction of their home. The residential building permit was submitted on October 23rd, 2025, and is in the inspection process. The parcel falls within the agricultural residential area on the future land use map. Staff has reviewed the application, and the application is complete with the following stipulations: that the RV or camper may be occupied for up to 12 months during the home construction. Should an extension be needed, the applicant shall be before the Board of Commissioners for approval. Upon issuance of the certificate of occupancy for the house construction, the camper shall be vacated and disconnected from well and septic.
Thank you. If the applicant is here and has anything to add, please come forward.
Yep, so the single-family home is currently under construction, and I just want to occupy my RV, which is a 2021 fifth wheel, so it's not like a blight on the neighborhood or anything. It's a pretty brand-new RV. It looks very nice. And so I wish to maintain that so I can, keep an eye on the project and then also provide some quantity of security to make sure, appliances and other building materials don't walk off the property by themselves.
Sure. Very good. Thank you, sir. If anyone here is opposed, please come forward. And there are none, I'll close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 8, consideration to approve the second reading for an application by Eric Henry for a variance from section 3.21.1 to allow for the occupation of an RV camper during the construction of a home in AR2 located at 2819 Sand Hill Road, map number 301C, parcel number 2 in the first district. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 9, public hearing. Consideration to approve an application by Effingham County as agent for Ronnie Morgan for a variance from section 5.1.1 to allow for modification of the building setbacks on non-conforming lots in AR1 located at 205 Melrose Place, map number 465H, parcel number 47B in the second district.
Kimberly Barlett, Senior Planner. The county has initiated a variance request regarding building setbacks for undeveloped lots in the Westwood Heights subdivision. These variance requests are intended to modify the current building setback requirements so they align with the original setback standards outlined in the subdivision's covenants. The goal is to create consistency across the subdivision and ensure any future development is compatible with the neighborhood's established design and layout. Letters were sent out to several property owners by certified mail. Including with the letter was an authorization of property owner form allowing us to proceed with the variance request on their behalf. Based on the covenants of Westwood Heights subdivision, the variance would allow for front setback of 25 and side setbacks of 5 feet. The parcel falls within the agricultural residential area on the future land use map. Staff has reviewed the application and the application is complete.
So if I can just kind of give some color on this. We haven't had a lot of new construction in Westwood Heights, and we are starting to see it now. There are a few vacant lots in there. It is one of our oldest subdivisions in the county. It had its covenants already established, which is what Kimberly just mentioned, all of those setbacks. And then we came in with county zoning and just kind of gave it the default AR1 zoning, even though none of the lots conform. So what we are doing on this and what we will be coming back to with the remaining vacant lots on is just giving those lots the variances to conform with the setbacks that are already established in the neighborhood before zoning took place.
Gotcha. Do we have any other older neighborhoods within the county that maybe we need to take a peek at?
What's your
It'll
one?
be just as they pop
Pinora.
up. This was kind of.
Oh,
an
yeah,
oddball
that's
thing.
right.
But Meldrum has
Some
an overlay
Meldrum.
district.
Yeah, Meldrum has an overlay district. Pinora does not. And we may want to come up with, and this does occur in Pinora, but the issue with Pinora, it doesn't have water and sewer.
Right.
So we haven't come across where we can actually build homes to meet the, what was originally built there. But if water and sewer gets available up there, we are going to have to address that, probably with an overlay.
Gotcha.
Since there was, and we probably would have done an overlay here, but since there was only like 5 lots, it just seemed like a overkill.
Gotcha. It's all about efficiency.
So you're saying maybe bring those other lots in Westwood and preemptively?
That's correct.
Correct,
Preemptive
right.
legal variance, yeah.
And so this way, someone wants to build a house there, they're not delayed, they have to go through everything. It's not an issue, so because it conforms with everything else, so we're probably bringing those up on the next meeting, is that right? Okay, we've only had one more, who's confirmed that they want to do this, and so that'll be on the next meeting. The other ones may come later.
Well, it could come up in infill if somebody demoed a house, potentially. I mean, as the
True.
houses are aging.
Yeah.
Do they have to?
And that's what's happening with this one. I think there was originally a house there.
Do the
and then they
property
were
owners
doing-
have to unanimously agree to this, or is this something we get like a certain percentage, or? I mean, not that they'd be against it for any
Well,
reason, but.
you can with an overlay district, and the county, but since we're doing a variance, it might be a little trickier. Like an overlay district, you can, the county can just go in there and, and establish
But
criteria.
moving forward, this would allow staff, so it wouldn't have to come before us for a variance. It would just,
Be a blanket.
hey, we've noted this place is this way. We can just kick it on down the road from
But
there.
it's just for.
It's
vacant
just for
lots.
one property. This is
This is
tonight.
just for one property.
Okay.
But you're not talking about a lot of properties, though.
No, we're
Right.
talking about 5. But to I think Phil's point, a house could get, could burn down, and then they could have to replace it and run into the same problems.
Right.
So we would, we would have to just, if we really wanted to solve it, those future issues where demolition was involved, we'd probably have to do an overlay at
That's
this
what I was
entire
asking, if
neighborhood.
we could go ahead and just blanket all of them.
And that would
Because we know
blanket
it's
all
gonna
of it.
come at some point, right?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's really the only way to do it.
Yeah, but for this, we probably would have done this anyway, just simply because an overlay would have taken
Right.
Longer.
a lot longer. Have to go through planning board and et cetera.
Cool.
All right. You've answered all the questions I had, so.
Okay.
I was concerned it was more blanket for existing homes, which it won't be. Then we're just doing the one tonight, so.
It is
that's
a
good.
public hearing.
Yes, it is.
Sorry.
Okay. Being it's a public hearing, if anyone here is for this, please come forward.
Well, it's Effingham County, and you're the chairman. Do you want to speak for it?
Sure, I'm for it. I think it's a great idea. I won't get a phone call from Miss Kim again asking why she did it last year and she can't do it this year.
Kim Eiler Morgan, and my husband and I own the lot in question here. I really don't have anything more to add than what's been said unless you have some questions for me. We did build a house at 209 North Melrose and sold it a year and a half ago with the exact same lot dimensions of 80 by 160. And the covenant stood at that time, so this was just something through staff that was
And as I explained to
addressed.
Kim, we made a few changes, but staff is doing their job by following what we have.
Their hands were tied.
Right, so,
That's what's-
that's why we're here now, so, yay, staff.
I
Good
respect
job.
the process.
Thank you, ma'am. If anyone here is in opposition, please come forward. Do I get to speak on that too, since we're agent for it?
Can I be in opposition?
You, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Okay, being there are none, I'll close the public hearing, open this for discussion and motion.
There's no discussion. I make a motion, we approve the variance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Number 10, second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Effingham County as agent for Ronnie Morgan for a variance from section 5.1.1 to allow for modification of the building setbacks on non-conforming lots in AR1 located at 205 Melrose Place, map number 465H, parcel number 47B in the second district. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Understand there is a need for executive session. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel, property, and pending litigation.
Second.
A motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Thank you all.
Marie, don't leave. I want to ask you a question about